Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Well, I just stopped at the coin store to buy some more gold and silver. They had gold ounces, American Eagle and Cougaran. Cougaran was 2,070. The American Eagle is 2,125. I wanted to buy 12 silver buffaloes, silver rounds. They're $27 a piece, but you didn't have any. They're all gone. So then I was going to buy, I could have still bought a 20 count of the American Eagle actual money $1 ones at 35 a piece. So they're not moving, which is really bizarre. But the rounds moved up. But so I'm about to buy them. And he goes, well, we're supposed to get a bunch of rounds in tomorrow. It's in our other store. It's supposed to come in today at the other store. We'll get it. We'll bring it here tomorrow. So I said, well, 540 versus 700 is, I can theoretically buy another 6 or 7 ounces for the same 700. So I say, okay, I'll wait till tomorrow. Now, if he doesn't get them in today, or he's supposed to come to this store tomorrow, if he doesn't get them tomorrow, I'll buy the Liberty $35 an ounce one. I'll buy the 20 for 700. It's still a great deal. So they were out of rounds. I've never seen them like out of rounds. Then I saw like what I thought was rounds in the white little plastic. And it says those are 600, but they're Trump. I don't want them. Not that I like or dislike Trump. I never really liked him on The Apprentice when he would be so like, you're fired. I always thought that was kind of like you're a jerk. I don't know how much I like him, but when trying to sell gold and silver, you really don't want a politician's face on it. Maybe the Queen, she died, but I don't really think you want a Trump coin, in my opinion. There's going to be people that don't want it because it's Trump. And if I need to sell it, I want to sell a buffalo or an eagle. So with that said, I will go tomorrow morning, probably about 10:30, 11. They open at 10. If they get the rounds in, I'll buy the 20 rounds. I'm at the point, do I need another 20 ounces? I got 500. And it's like, well, I don't really need them, but because they're so cheap, it's hard to not, the Canadian Club's still $2 for the bottle. Well, yeah, but it's still $2. I'll buy another one. And I think that's my point of view with the silver and the gold. It's so cheap that how do you not buy it? And it's about to explode. Now, you know how I listen to my what's his name? Gordon, whatever. Live from the vault. I watched the first 10 minutes of his, and I ran to the store because he says what's happening is, here's the story of gold and silver. If the authorities, the central banks, let gold and silver go to the true physical price, then I guarantee you silver is nowhere near its real price, then they'll know the system will collapse and nobody will want money because they'll know if gold's up, there's a problem with money. That's how they think people think of it. So if that's the case, then they're keeping it down, but there's too many people buying it to keep the price down. And I think we all know it's bullshit paper price. That's why I ran. But since he's saying we're getting more in tomorrow, I'll go tomorrow. And if I see it, I'll get it. I don't know if I'll get it. I don't know how much he's getting. I don't know if he's actually going to get it. But I think the 35 ounces are there. The $35 Liberty actual coins will be there. Also, there isn't that much of a difference anymore. You know, when I was buying it for $23 an ounce, yeah, that's a huge difference. Even 25. But if it goes up to 28, 29, I can get the other for 35. There's not that much difference. I'll buy the 35. It is real silver money. Anyway, so that's what I woke up to. Then there's Deutsche Bank collapsing. Basically, a lot of banks are collapsing. And if you think that the FDIC is going to cover everybody, you're out of your minds. That's impossible. Because they'd have to print so much money, the money would be worthless that they're printing. So they're not going to cover everybody, but they're trying to make you think they will. So rule number one today is get your money the fuck out of the bank. Leave a few thousand. That's it. I think I have 2,000. That's it. I got rent coming up on the 1st. You're going to take 1,500 out. There you go. Otherwise, well, you're fucked anyway, because let's say you got $500,000 in the bank. You can't get it. You cannot go and say, give me my $500,000, and they're going to have it for you. Okay? So that's your first problem. You're fucked. Maybe you can get it the most, I would say 15,000 cash. Oh. Aha, so what do you do? I'd go every day and get my 15,000 out until I got my $500,000 out. That's why I warned you for months already. Get your money out. That's why when I transfer money in from my IRA into my bank, I go I transfer in 25, 30,000. I go the next day and give me 15, 20. And they give it to me. Only one smart enough to know it. Hey, Andrew. Your birthday play, buy gold. Let's see, your birthday play today. Take over in the Texas Xavier game. So yesterday I hit the over in Connecticut and I hit the under in the Tennessee. I was right about Michigan State not winning, but I didn't see. Well, they went in overtime, but I still didn't see that score. I got under 137. And they're scoring, and I thought they had good defense. And I think UCLA lost. They're up 15 at half. I go, oh, I won. And then I go at the end of the game, and I look, and they're down 6, and they hit a three-pointer. So they're down 3 with 10 seconds left. So I assume I lost that game. I'm not sure how I lost it. I'm not sure how UCLA fucked that 15-point halftime lead up, but I felt like the gambler, the James Caan gambler in the 70s, when he's in Vegas and he's got 15,000 on these 3 basketball games, and they're all way up at halftime. And the guy goes to him, well, these are just halftime leads. He says, no, they're omens. We're going to win. And he lost all 3. That's what I felt like on how does UCLA blow a 15-point lead, laying 1 to Gonzaga. Anyway, so we now have Kansas State and I believe Tennessee won. I don't know. I got to check the scores. You're welcome, Andrew. Well, let's look at that. But it's very important and impertinent. You get your money out of the bank before there ain't any banks open. Now, I don't want to hear this as part of the plan. I don't want to hear, you know what, this is central bank digital currency, da-da-da-da-da. I don't want to hear that, because there's no fucking way that this could be part of anybody's plan, because the banks are too powerful. They run the politicians. They're not going to sit there and let's crash all the banks as part of a plan. Okay? No, that's not. You don't do that. That is not a plan. Oh, we'll crash all the banks and everybody will have to run a central bank digital currency. We can control them all. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. Yeah, just like Hitler, I'm going to take over the world. Okay, good luck with that. Everybody's just going to sit and watch. Okay, sure. All right, let's real quickly do the basketball. Kansas State wins 98-93. They are now in the final 8. Connecticut, big win, 88-65. I have them over 140. Florida Atlantic beats Tennessee. Wow. Florida Atlantic in. But it was a nice, low-scoring game, 117. It fucks my under up. All right, so we got Florida Atlantic against K-State. And Gonzaga beats UCLA. So Gonzaga against Connecticut. So I lose UCLA. I win the Tennessee under. I lose Michigan State. And I win the Connecticut over. All right, so 2-2 yesterday. Not bad. Let's see what we got today. Alabama, 7.5, 137.5 hasn't changed. I like Alabama there. Houston, 7.5, 139.5. That's up. I wouldn't play over in this game. I like Houston here. Creighton, 10.5, 141 against Princeton. I like Princeton. Now I get 10.5. And Texas, 3.5, 148.5. I like the over in this game. So that's what you have. So I can't believe Florida Atlantic beats Tennessee, but it was a good defensive team, so that's all that matters. So I go on YouTube and there's a bunch of scary. Oh, everything's collapsing. Da 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 da. The same idiots who do it. What are you going to do? So let's look at. For some reason, gold's going down. It's at 1984. You can see the 10 o'clock drop, and then you can see now a 12 o'clock drop. This is all fake. This is the central banks selling paper to try to keep the price down before everybody freaks out. And silver's 23.17. Add 2 zeros, and you get the real price of silver. So I'll run and get silver tomorrow. If I have to buy the 20 Liberties for 700, I will. Or I can get the 20, and it'll be 27. It'll be 540 for the others. In which case, I might get the Liberties anyway if it goes up too much. But we'll see. Again, they were out of rounds. I've never seen them out of rounds, but they still had some Liberties. They had the plastic tubes of them. So that's there. And then in the back, they have, I think, other silvers if we need to buy them. So I'm not worried about getting 20 more. I'm not going to buy 1,000 more. But that's what we have with gold. Now we get to. So I hate when I go back onto YouTube and it fucks up my
Want to know a way to get up to $5,000 worth of gold or silver tax-free? Stick around and I'll show you how. And global inventories in silver.
All right. So anyway, this is the episode 115. Andrew McGuire, our guy.
These central bank sovereign spot gold orders, and they are central bank spot gold orders, have to be hedged, meaning short covered, by the Asian bank insiders exposed to delivery obligations they are in absolutely no position to fulfill. So now we'll continue to see these physical delivery outflows into blatantly counterintuitive official efforts which we've been seeing, and they've been, the efforts are to intervene as they attempt to spin that, look, all is well in La La Land. I mean, goodness me, anyone that cares to look under the surface will realize that is not the case. A rising gold price, though, is a barometer that all is not well after all. And to reaffirm other reports that we've been getting right across the globe, that officials have been actively intervening in all of the crosses in a globally coordinated mandate to try and keep bellwether gold from undermining their efforts. Footprints since Monday evidence gold and silver being sold into a declining dollar index. Now, that is the inverse of what you would expect, because there's a cross there. And we talked about this before, and it's usually inverse. And this time, the dollar was crashing on Monday, on Tuesday, and today on Wednesday, when we were recording this, the dollar was actually declining, and gold and silver were either declining or being capped into that. So it's so obvious. These intervention efforts rely, though, on paper gold being sold, short sold, but once again, limited to rinsing the margined CTA longs. These are the speculators who never take delivery and who always race on board as the right price rises. But in this case, they raced on board as the crisis unfolded. But while officials try and spin this a risk on sentiment back again, everything's fine, invest in risk, invest in stocks, to force these very same CTAs who'd raced into safe havens to then dump these positions in favor of risk, it is serving to incentivize strong competing safe haven physical demand, which continues to be reported since last Friday. Now, when netted out of the sticky CTA longs, these are the guys that are in for the long haul, the resulting paper market backfilling, which is what we've been evidencing, will run out of weak-handed speculators to rinse. And ultimately, this is going to be helpful in cementing a higher stairstep that we've been looking to discern a level around above 1900. Now, obviously, this is something that's unfolding. So into the official paper market interventions, the physical gold and silver markets in Asia continue to reflect a strong safe haven appeal into what is undoubtedly a global bailout of an extremely fragile, broken banking system. It is perceived that many more banks exposed to liquidity issues will be exposed over the next few sessions. And while the mainstream media assisted globally coordinated efforts to prop up the large too-big-to-fail banks is front and center, under the covers, it is the regional banks who actually provide over 80% of all lending that still expose these too-big-to-fail banks to a potential domino collapse effect. Now, currently, the FDIC at maximum only has around 2% in the kitty to cover all these bank deposits. So invoking emergency measures, which they've been discussing to back up the FDIC to cover all deposits, what's that's going to do? It's going to trigger a massive inflow into gold, bonds, and all safe havens. You can't hide these footprints. And despite official efforts to interfere in the crosses, the gold is set up very similarly. We talked about this the last 2 or 3 times. Very similar to when it commenced a $1,200 rally in October 2008, which was enough. But this crisis, even worse. But also, silver will be dragged up higher by gold, draining deeply underwater COMEX and global inventories in silver, which are really thin, breaching short stops. Now, these short stops are bets that were made against silver, and they are and it's the same speculators, in this case, who have no ability to deliver these positions, will actually be rinsed of this position, and there is sufficient size stops, i.e. buy orders, to get out of these positions to breach the all-time May 1st, 2011 $49 highs.
Well, Andrew, last time that we spoke 2 weeks ago on this episode.
So there's our buddy telling us, it's paper, and they're keeping it down as much as they can, but it's about to explode because they can't keep it down. There's too many of these central bank things. So the only place to run, as I've been telling you, is gold and silver. And therefore, how long can they keep the price down? We all know the banks are failing. We all know the money supply is huge. We all know there's massive inflation. Now the government comes out and they say, oh, inflation's only 6%. No, not that they would lie to us. Come on. So if we smell what they're cooking, like The Rock would say, they're cooking the bullshit that the inflation's only 6%. As they keep taking things that have jumped up in price, like food and energy, they don't count that. Well, if you count everything, that's like a football game. Well, if Joe Montana throws a touchdown pass, it really doesn't count. It's like, oh, okay. So that's what they're doing. With inflation, they're not counting everything. So therefore, it's only 6%. Well, it isn't. So it's all bubbling to a head, and everybody will run to safe haven, gold and silver, because there is no other competition. You cannot, where are you going to go? Into another currency? Are you going to go buy a euro? Well, that's better. I saw rubles today, 77 to 1. I'm shocked it's going up because they're backed by gold at some point. I was really shocked that the ruble 77 to 1. I thought it'd be like 37 to 1 by now. What's weird is the euro is in far worse shape than the dollar, and it's 92 cents to the dollar. So a dollar buys you 92 cents a euro, which is really, I don't understand why it's cheaper when it should be a lot more. So I've never really, but they're, like you said, they're fixed. The government's fixed the price to make it look better. So again, it's a magic act. Look at my left hand as the right hand is printing all this dollars. Keep in mind, these bailouts are inflation. So if Goldman Sachs goes out and they go, we're gonna bail you out, that's they're printing money, right? Where are they going to get the money from? They print the money. Now you have more money. The more you have, the less it's worth. The more you print, the less the dollar's worth. That's the inflation. So you're going to print the dollar to death. Well, if you're going to bail out the banks, and all the banks seem to be in the same trap where they are in 5 and 10 year bonds, and because the yield curve's inverted, which means the 2% ones are 4 or 5%, and the 10-year ones are 2%. Well, the longer you hold your money, the more you should get for it. So it should be 2-year 2%, 5-year 3%, 10-year 4%. That's the normal way. But now we've got 2-year 5%, 5-year 2%, 10-year 2%. So the higher percent is now. That's the problem. That's what the banks, they've all fucked themselves because they're in these long ones and they're all losing money. And as people start realizing they're fucked, what do you do with your money? You're going to lose your money? You're going to leave it in the bank? Well, they're going to bail me out. Good luck on that. Your money's not going to be worth anything anyway because it's in U.S. dollars. So the last thing you want is your money in this and in a bank. and just say goodbye. So you pull it out. It's still in this, but at least like now, I just ran to the coin store and I could take my money and go buy silver and gold with it. He had 5 or 6 ounces of American. He had a couple of Cougarans at 2060, and then he had hit some Credit Suisse little bars. But I love when they say they're in kilograms or grams. They're not in ounces. He says they're 171. And I go, so that's not even a tenth of an ounce. Like, I don't, I had no interest in it. He had no, I would have bought a quarter ounce for 500. But again, he didn't have any. You're at the mercy of people bringing in their gold, getting money. All right. So people, I need $2,000. I bring him my ounce of gold. He gives me $2,000 for it, or roughly 19 something. He gives me spot. So with that said, when you do see gold that he has, it's from people coming in and needing money. And that's unfortunate. You're supposed to be holding your gold now, letting it go up, not on the other end with the gold, going down, I need to sell it. And that's the balancing act Bobby asked me about, and I think about too, is the balance of, well, I need some money to pay my bills versus I want to buy more gold with the money. And so you're caught in a balancing act. Or do I put some on the credit card? But I want to own the gold and silver. So you reach a point where you have a good portion of gold and silver. Because as I said, I'm buying silver at $27 an ounce. It's going to be worth $2,000. Again, it's on paper. Once it gets off of the paper COMEX into the physical market, where we get an actual, you want the club, you got it. You bought the bottle, not paper. Well, you didn't really buy the bottle. You bought the derivative of the bottle. Well, I can't drink the derivative. And that's really what happens. So you have that at going to physical. Once it goes to physical, it'll go to its real value, which is not 27. Believe me, the demand is here and the price is here. So we're waiting for the demand and the price to equal. So with that said, I'll wait one day, and then, because I know there's shit's hitting the fan, but unless you're in my class, people think, oh, the banks will be okay. The government's not going to let anything happen to the banks. They'll be okay. Yeah, okay. And therefore, people aren't worried yet. Most people don't understand it to worry about it. So that's, that's really where the problem lies. So once you get out of that and you understand it's priced at paper, and I need to get out of the banking. But the problem, like I said, if you got too much money in the banking system, you're fucked. All right, I'm going to show you an article, which is pretty fucking scary. Now I'm telling you about safety deposit box. JP Morgan is being sued for allegedly selling $10 million in jewelry in a couple's safe deposit box. So the couple claimed the bank auctioned off their items for just $550,000 that were worth $10 million. You would think the safes would keep your valuables safe, but so a couple suing JP Morgan for allegedly selling off about $10 million in jewelry, precious metals, and coins that were stored in safe deposit boxes, according to Bloomberg. A district judge threw out one of the claims on Wednesday, but the case has continued with negligence and other counts JP Morgan, of course, declined comment. So I've got $10 million. Who knows how he got it? Puts it in a safe, the deposit box, JP Morgan. They break the box open and take the shit out and sell it. Excuse me? Now, when you read a little bit more into the story, supposedly they're able to do that if you don't keep up with your payments. And for some reason, I guess they mailed it to another address or something, and the person who owns the box didn't get it, so he was delinquent in the payment. So because of that, they pulled the box out and then sold the contents. Don't know the truth, except for JP Morgan broke into the safety deposit box. We do know that's right. So if the couple really fucked up, but then why would they sue for $10 million? If they fucked up, they wouldn't have a lawsuit. So they're suing them. Another JP Morgan moment. They're behind all these scams. It's hysterical. So I read that today. I thought I'd share it with you. Was your money safe in a safety deposit box? Not in a bank. Just buy a fucking safe, put it in your house, put it in your fridge, something like that. Put it in a U-Haul box, something. Don't leave it in a bank. Because when Silicon Valley Bank went out, people tried to get into the bank. They wouldn't allow them in. China, people want to get their money out of the bank. They're not allowed in. The banks aren't even open. Sri Lanka, Greece. They just closed the bank on you. Oh, wait, I got a safety deposit box in there. Not anymore. So, for some reason, you think you can trust the government. You need to wake up. So let's see what else. So here the gold futures say 2007. I don't know the difference. This is COMEX, and it is more than that other, maybe physical. Maybe it's behind it, but, figure $2,000 gold right now. But because I bought it at 1,700, I'm not selling it at 2,000. Had I bought it at 250 an ounce when I bought this, I'm not selling it. Because it's going to be a $50,000 an ounce item, if not more, and I'll buy a house and a car with it. Why would I only want 2,000 for it? So that's never happening. Charles Schwab. Here's another one. Charles Schwab plunges despite liquidity claims. Somebody else going out. Rawls, we want you to believe this. Wall Street rallies on hopes of Fed policy pause. Block shares slid 14%. They really on hopes of Fed policy pause, which means the Fed won't raise interest rates anymore. So I'm going to go buy stock. Why would I buy stock with that? Now that causes inflation, right? What you're doing is raising interest rates to stop inflation. Okay? So if he raises interest rates to stop inflation, and inflation's running 15 to 20%, if we include food and clothing and rent and energy and everything, you didn't get rid of inflation, which is what makes businesses fail, because their costs go up and they can't raise the price. So if I'm making pizza and I'm selling pizza, I'm in the pizza business. Me and Bobby are in the pizza business, and now it costs 5 times more for the bread, cheese, and pepperoni, and my electricity to heat the ovens and my place goes up. So now my 20% return on investment. So when I make the piece, I want to make 20%, right? I got to make money to do it. Now costs, let's say it went from $3 to $6. I say I'll just charge the customer $9 for it. I'll make my 20%. I was charging them $5 for the pizza. Well, let's say 10. I'm charging them $10 for a large pepperoni and mushroom pizza. My costs are 5. 6. My costs are 6. I'm charging 10. Now my costs went up to 9. I got to charge 13. What does the market say? I can't just raise prices because my costs went up. I can only raise prices if the market allows it, just like my rib place. So the market for pizza says we'll pay you $10 for a large. Your costs are 6. You're fine with that. Now your costs are $9. You want to sell it for 13. The market says 10. Now what the fuck do you do? So you want to buy stocks? Will the market allow? See, I love when people go, well, the prices are going to go up. Only if the market allows it. If you're not going to pay more than $10 for a pizza, you can raise your price all you want. You're not going to sell any, which means you're going to have to lower your price. You always have to come to market. Now, people, let's take my Chinese food that I get every Saturday. So it was $11.99 for General Chow. I get the dinner. So it's just General Chow and some broccoli, and it's a ton of chicken and broccoli. I don't get the combination because I don't want the fried rice. Fried food's not good for you. So I would have gotten less chicken, the fried rice, and the egg roll for a couple dollars cheaper. But I'd rather have all the chicken and broccoli. I have salad here. I don't want fried rice, and I get an egg roll anyway. So it's $11.99. Now goes to $13.99. Was her market at $11.99 there? Or in my mind, hey, you know what? If it's under $15, I'm buying it anyway. So the market really isn't there. It's just what she's charging. Her food is so good and so healthy, she doesn't understand her market. So really, at $11.99, the market was probably here. Let's call this $15.99. She's selling for $11.99, and everybody's eating it because they're under market. Now she raised it to $13.99. She's still under market, but in her mind, she's raised her price because of the inflation, because her costs went up. So she's still $13.99, but the market, I would easily pay $15 for a shitload of very healthy, not fried, wok, no MSG Chinese food that I've been there for 30 years. Now, at other Chinese restaurants, I wouldn't put up with it. But for her, I know it's very healthy. We know each other for many years. It's fine. So this is the case. She's under market. Now, if she went to 20, it would probably go down to once a month instead of every Saturday. And hopefully it doesn't get that high. She's pretty good about her prices, keeping them low. But that's where you got to get your market. You have to understand your market. And just because your costs go up does not mean you can just raise your prices and people will pay. Only on certain things. Gas for your car. What are you going to do? You don't have a choice. You maybe don't drive as far. If it got to that, well, I'll go to the gym 3 times a week instead of 7 times a week. And I'll go to the grocery store. When I go to the gym, I'll go gym, grocery store 3 times a week. Otherwise, I'll stay home. Or I'll walk, or I'll ride a bike or something. Those are the absolute. I need heat. I need lights. Certain things like that. But when you get your other things, like a pizza or Chinese food or ribs, I don't need them. I can get something. I can go to the grocery store and just buy chicken and buy a hamburger and buy roast. Roast are cheap. Roast are like $4 or $5 a pound. You get 3 pounds worth. If it's cheaper than buying the hamburger, then do that. I just made the roast, and I'm still eating it, right? I've had one meal with it. I had a meal yesterday. That's 2 meals with it, and I'll have that today. So I get 3 meals out of this roast, and I have that in a salad, and then I have all my avocados as I'm eating, and that's what I have. So you work around it. Is what you do, but just because your costs go up doesn't mean you can raise your price. You can try to raise your price, but you can't be stupid either and say, well, I still want to make 20% on my money or on my business. You can't. The price, you're too expensive. Like what happened with Tesla, 50,000 for a car. Now he's down to 27. And then I'm reading where the government's going to take away that incentive. Right now, the government says if you buy an electric car, you get a price break. If you buy solar panels for your house, my friend in Florida got solar panels, says, well, I get this huge break on my taxes. This is the way the government tries to get you into something. We'll give you a tax break to buy an electric car. But when it blows up and catches on fire, sorry. So, people are, if they lose that, I wouldn't buy Tesla stock anyway, but it'd be really tough. Anyway, with that said, why are you rushing into the stock market? Okay, we're not going to raise interest rates anymore. Which do you understand that does not affect houses and cars? When he raises interest rates, it does not raise car and home rates. The inflation raises it. I want to get paid back in inflated dollars. I need to charge a higher interest rate. That has nothing to do with what Powell's doing. It's actually the reverse. If Powell raises rates to 20%, your credit card wouldn't. Well, maybe your credit card would, but your mortgage and your car payments should go down because, wait, that's going to lower inflation. So now I don't have to charge as much. That's why when I bought my car in 2018, it was 2%, I think, 2 or 2.5% interest. Now it's like 9 or 10. Well, Powell didn't raise the rates that high. No, it's because the banks who are doing it need to make enough money in the inflation period. It's always good to go into debt when there's inflation because you pay back with cheap dollars, right? So if you actually owned a house and you bought it 10 years ago, $300,000 house, and you're paying 3%, you're having a great time because you're paying them in inflated dollars. So you're not only is your $300,000 house worth $400,000, but let's say you're paying $1,100 a month. You got in at 3%, and now what you're going to do is because of inflation, you're paying back 1,100 is really worth about 800 because 1,100 doesn't buy what 1,100 did 10 years ago. So then that really creates this magic boom that nobody understands, right? Except for you guys now, right? So if you feel there's inflation coming, which is always coming when you're printing dollars not backed by anything, that's why gold's steadily risen since 71 from $35 to now 2,000 is simply because you're not backed by anything. It has to inflate because the government, those in government, power corrupts, right? So if power corrupts and you have the printing press, what are you going to do? You're going to print. You're going to take some money. You're going to put it in the stocks and hope nobody knows and take these perks and go on a vacation and all this stuff, all the corrupt stuff that Biden does and Hunter Biden and all these other idiots. That's the problem. So they just keep printing and printing. And if the reason you're not on the gold standard is You can't print with gold because, as I said yesterday, if I go take a $20 bill to my bank, say I want $20 worth of gold, and they have to give it to you because it's gold-backed dollars, right? But if it's gold-backed dollars, they can't print as much as they want. Or they could, but then they have to raise the price of gold. Now, in their world, if I raise the price of gold, it shows there's a problem with the money, and I don't want to admit there's a problem with the money. And that's what's happening today. There's a problem with the money, but we don't want to say. That's why I ran to buy silver before the show or the class was specifically, I better get it now. But then talking to my friend, now I go there every week, so they know me. We're pretty friendly, and they said, "Are you getting any more rounds?" And I said, "Yeah, it's coming to the other store. Should come in today. We should have it here tomorrow." And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll come back tomorrow." So I trust that they're going to get it in. The problem is, they're going to get it in, but is it going to still be there? So I'll be showing up about 10:15 tomorrow because they open 10 to 3 on Saturdays. So before class, I'll be running over there trying to buy a good 20, 25 ounces. So in my world, my NFJ, I'm buying it'll be $27 an ounce. I'll be buying a $2,000 silver coin for $27. That's how my mind works. So that's why it's as much as I can eat. I just keep buying it, right? And I have a lot, but it's a no-brainer. I mean, this is going down in value, so I don't even want to hold this. So now it's a seesaw between keeping the money to pay the bills and changing the money over into gold and silver. So now I got Social Security. Now I got unemployment. It came in. So now I got enough money to last me at least, 5 months, and then Social Security takes over. And I'm still looking for a job. I just got applied to Harley Davidson, senior financial analyst, and Kraft Foods, senior financial analyst. And all I'm doing is waiting and waiting and waiting. And I called the guy, what the fuck? He says they haven't made a move yet. So they're collecting resumes, but they're afraid to hire because of this whole, depression we're going into. And that's what I know. And that's why I'm just trying to bridge it. Now, if gold hits $20,000 in the next month and silver hits 2,000, you won't see me working anymore. But with that said, then I probably need, if I can buy another 20 ounces of silver and another quarter or half ounce of gold, I'll buy it. And the intent is not to buy silver 27 and it hits 50 and sell it. No. Maybe at 2,000. And it's only if I need the money. So if I need the money, I walk back to the coin store. I said, here, give me 2,000. What was surprising, he had these Trump silver dollars. He was selling them for 30. But if I bought the Buffaloes, they're 27. I was really surprised. I said, well, the problem is if somebody doesn't like Trump, and I know there's a lot of people that don't, and I have this silver, I won't be able to sell it to them. I'll wait for the Buffalo because everybody will buy the Buffalo if they want silver. So I'm a little bit concerned, can I sell a Trump? Will I take the risk? And it's more expensive. Honestly, if the Trump's 30 and the Eagle's 35, I'm buying the Eagle for 35. There's not enough differentiation to take that risk. I'll save $5 on 20, so I'll save $100. I'd rather spend the extra and buy the Eagles, which are real money, and I know I'm going to be fine with it. So that's really what I'm looking at. So I'll go tomorrow morning, and hopefully he's got the Eagles, and I'll buy at least 20. Yes, Bobby, I'm buying more, much as I can eat. The banks are like Deutsche Bank now. That's a big German bank. So Credit Suisse, I watched a little thing on that, was really an elite bank. It was all the Monte Carlo people, the real Monaco Monte Carlo, not Vegas. It was all the super rich in Switzerland and Europe and Saudi Arabia's kings who have all the oil and all the money. That's who was in Credit Suisse, right? It wasn't for me and you. We weren't going to be in Credit Suisse. I think we would be in USB, the bank that bought them. So to save the creditors, they couldn't collapse it, and then everybody's putting in a bunch of money. But the question is, how much are they stuck with there? I mean, obviously they're stuck a lot in that. If that's what you have, there's. I don't know how these banks got so stuck, but well, like I said, if I put 100 grand in the bank, they're going to give me, let's say they give me 2%. Well, they're going to lose 2% on 100 grand unless they invest my money to get 5%. So that's what they normally do. It's either a loan for a car or a house or a business loan. That's what the banks do. They loan it out, or they'll buy an investment. It can't be a lot of risk, so they'll buy T-bills. So they can get 5%, as well as they're giving me 2%, they make 3% on my money. So that's what a bank does. That's why they're all stuck. They all bought bonds and they're all fucked. So that's where you get in this shortage, and it's all coming to a head, and it's all blowing up. And they're trying to keep the price of gold down because everybody's running into it. But the central banks are saying, well, we'll keep the price of gold down so nobody panics. Yeah, like we don't know what's going on. That's how stupid the government is. They think we're a bunch of freaking idiots and we don't know what's going on. And it's just amazing that, it's amazing that these guys are in government who are the dumbest guys in the world. Think of us that we're so stupid. Oh, these people, keep gold price down. They won't know. They won't be panicked. People like us, so thank you. Thanks for keeping the price low. I'm going to buy it. Now, I would have bought, like I said, a quarter ounce. I would have easily bought a couple of quarter ounces today. Again, gold's gold. I'll take it. But didn't see any. I didn't want that Credit Suisse gram, which was $170. I thought, no. I'd rather buy the 20-ounce Buffalo rounds. I think those are more prudent, or the quarter ounce. Or actually, I had enough money to buy both. I said, well, if I get the quarter ounce, $575, and then 20 rounds, another 500, that's, I got $1,000. That'll cover that. So that was my game plan today. But I'll try it tomorrow. So people are bringing gold in because they need money, but I don't see them. Nobody's bringing silver back, but he's got silver in the cases behind also. So I'm not worried about getting some silver at 35 an ounce. He's not going to run out of that silver. And then he says he's getting more in, so we will do that. So that's really what it is the banks. I don't know what I would have done if I was a bank. I certainly wouldn't have went long in the interest rates, knowing interest rates are going up, and that's what I specialize in. I know interest rates will now probably start coming down or staying even. They've gone up, but raising interest rates does not stop inflation, so I don't know where they get this from. It's supposed to bring money back into the bank, and then I guess they burn it. I don't know. That's the only way to have less money is to burn it. But again, anytime you're dealing with a currency that's not backed by gold or silver, and it's just paper, it's going to zero. Everyone it's guaranteed, because eventually these morons will print and print and print and kill the value of it. And the more you print, the less it's worth. And that's what's going to happen every time. So let's see. Here's an interesting article. JP Morgan and Blackstone. Now, I guess Blackstone is BlackRock. I get confused by, I think it's the same. Execs warn of deepening commercial real estate distress. Yeah, I'm really surprised by that. Of course, everything is predicated on cost. When you raise the cost, here's the heading of our guide: China to mobilize 25,000 tons of citizens' gold. There you go. That price is going to the moon. So when we look at that, I'm going to go into my liked videos. There's another interesting headline. 186 banks may fail because of Switzerland. So it says 186 U.S. banks may fail by Credit Suisse. And we got this housing meltdown by BlackRock. This one's BlackRock. So what's happening is it's all simple economics, right? The market price is this. You're trying to sell houses up here. The prices are going up because of the interest rate. So the interest rates, because of the inflation, they now want 10% for a house. So even if let's say the house was 200,000, it would really be at 10% for 30 years, would be close to paying 300. Well, the payment, let's say, would go from 1,500 to 2,200. And this is, well, I can do about 1,500, 1,700 maybe for the house payment. So now you're pushing it up to let's say 2,200. Oh, geez, we're over market. We can't sell it. You must lower the price. But the interest rates are kicking it up. If I need to sell a house and the market's here and I can't sell it, I lower my price to get to the market. Everything is about the market. Everything says law. We listen to the market, and that's what we do. This is what we need to listen to. If they can only afford 1,500 now, and you're trying to sell your house, you better lower it where it's 1,500. Interest rates are peaking the monthly payment higher, but what's happening? And here's BlackRock and White Rock and everything else. They're all fucked because here's Goldman Sachs is about to collapse. Goldman Sachs is about to collapse, subprime collapse. BlackRock, economic collapse. Blackstone's, which I assume is BlackRock, 2023 collapse. So what do we see here on all these? Collapse. This is our guy. This is worse than the Lehman moment. China to mobilize 25,000 tons. So this is all that I saw. Here's economic crisis around the world. Economy's in trouble, Argentina and a bunch of others. Here, and I don't like this woman, says, oh, houses could sell for a quarter ounce of gold, which is what I've been saying. I don't really like this guy. He talks the same thing. Oh, he owns a gold store. And so he just says, oh, there's a lot of buyers. Okay, we get that. Then he goes on other channels and he says the same thing. I've never seen so many buyers, but he doesn't understand paper to physical and doesn't explain it. So he's kind of worthless. So with all that, we understand it always comes back to basic economics. What is the market? What is the market for a house? You can't sell it here if it's there. You can't sell ribs here if it's there. You can't sell Toyotas here if the market's there. You want a $30,000 Toyota? I'm only going to give you 25. Now, I did see a 27. I heard somebody was talking. She said she just leased the new Camry. My friend at the pool. I just leased the new Camry. How much was it? She says it was down to 27,000, but she's got a 2-year lease. I says, what's your interest rate? She says, I don't know. It was a lease. I said, oh yeah, there's an interest rate there. I'm sure your lease would have been $100 cheaper if you bought it at 2018. So, as we talked yesterday, this is all about confidence. How confident are you with your money in the bank? I've already explained, and I'll explain it again. If your money's in gold, you can't lose. It can only go up, especially in these situations. Now you're a little late to the party because at $2,000 an ounce, you're going to pay $2,100 for an ounce. However, versus $50,000, you're still in it very cheap. And you can see it's now $2,100. Once it hits $10,000, are you going to go buy an ounce of gold? Can you afford $10,000 an ounce for gold? If you can, don't worry about it. And if you can, I'd go buy 5 ounces right now. But you probably can't. So are you going to get, how frustrated are you going to get going, shit, I could have bought gold at $2,000 an ounce, $1,800 an ounce. See, but everybody's panicking at the same time. They're waking up going, oh, fuck, look at gold's going, silver's going. I better buy it now. Now, did I do that today? No, I mean, because I got 500 ounces of silver buying 20 at a time. So a little bit, I said, might as well go get more now. And I did go before I did kind of panic a little bit going, I better go before the show because after they might not have. And then they tell me they'll get more in tomorrow. And I said, okay. And I trust them. And they were friends. So I'm like, okay. And if they don't, I'll buy the Liberties. But again, at $25, $30 an ounce, these are going to be at least $2,000, probably be more. I'm being conservative. And you guys are thinking I'm nuts. $50 an ounce for silver. Paper silver. So I'm smart enough to realize paper physical. And I'm also smart enough to realize once it goes physical, it's going to 2,000, and that's conservative based on you printed $10 trillion, plus you're printing more, another couple trillion for the banks. Because you don't want anybody nervous and you don't want anybody out of the banking system because that's JP Morgan. We print dollars. So if we're printing dollars, we want people to buy dollars. We don't want people in gold. This is all JP Morgan's doing, keeping the price of gold down. But they're not going to be able to. I mean, on COMEX, they can't. Wait till it hits the physical market. China, 25,000 tons from the people. What do you think that's going to do? So I got to finish watching that, which I will do when we're done here, and really get the gist of it. I watch it like twice because I'm like, there's stuff I miss, or I get a phone call, or I'm making tea or something. So I want to watch it again, although I get the gist of it. And it's so much better without a host. When he has like a guest, you're like, what the fuck? I don't want to hear this guy. There's nothing the guest is going to tell me because I don't know the guest. I don't trust the guest. I trust Andy McGuire and Alistair McLeod. That's why I don't want to hear the guest, because if I get these idiots on there, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're clueless, so I don't want to hear it. But they're salesmen. This Andy guy, he's a salesman. They're trying to sell gold. Only this time they actually are correct to sell it because of what's happening. However, not what we don't care, but I'll watch Andrew just to get, okay, when, and I wrote that in the comment, when is COMEX blowing up and we're getting the physical? That's what I want to know. And I'll show you. Being a man of my word.
You see these cars? There were people in them when they were hit.
Bullshit.
That's why we make reckless drivers, and the insurance companies.
A lawyer
This
that
episode, like Andrew, last time that we spoke 2 weeks ago on this episode, you drew attention to the central bank sovereign physical demand, and as you put it, you were saying it was raising the physical support stair step, and
here's Teaser King. When will we blow up COMEX and get to physical prices? And if you think I bullshit, there it is. The Teaser King. There's my comment. That's what we want to know, not the bullshit COMEX. We want to know physical. And he does. The difference is this guy, Andrew McGuire, does say the paper market, and it's going to blow up, and it's blowing up, the physical. And this should help it blow up because people are just going to all jump into it. So what will happen is you get 350 million people in America, and 99% are too stupid to understand gold and silver. And they're going to lose all their money because that's what stupid people do. And once the switch goes on that they need to buy gold, then what's going to happen to the price? But now this is helping is all these bank failures. People are going, where do I put my money? Oh, stocks, Bitcoin, anything but gold. Nobody wants to go into gold because they don't understand it, or it's not cool, or we're Keynesians. Gold's no good. We're communists. I don't want to be in gold. Okay. See you later. And that's what happens. These people are just too stupid to understand what's going on. They don't keep an open mind, and they don't want to learn. So then they wonder why, when Madoff collapsed, they lost all their money. All they understand is I lost all my money. Well, if you would have asked the questions and thought about it and talked to a professor like me, you would have been out. You would never have gotten into it. I remember, like I said, I was at a holiday function, and my brother-in-law is a cancer doctor, and he's telling me about this. I'm going to get 10, 11% with this shopping mall. I go, how are you going to get it? Well, it's a shopping mall, and they pay the rent, it's like 10%, so they can give a higher return. And my response is, it's a scam. And I laughed. I says, I don't want to hear anything about it. It's not real. If the market says you can get 5%, so here's the market, and then you're telling me you can sell it up here, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit. If the market is 5%, so now we're looking at the market from a interest rate opportunity, right? An investment opportunity. The market says, all right, 7% you can get. And here's Madoff at 15. How are you getting over the 7? Because I know how you got this. It's either mutual funds, it's bonds, it's real estate investment trust. I know about them. That's how you're going to get maybe 6% or 7% without much risk. And you're coming up with 15, and you're telling me there's no risk. Good luck. When you're poor, don't come crawling to me. See, and the problem is, if the people would have just ran to gold, as I've been discussing, they can't lose. Gold's never going to zero. It's never going out, and it makes a lot of money. Even the paper doesn't make as much as you think, but it's being held down on purpose. So wait till it breaks. When gold breaks, I honestly, it might go past 50,000. Because once everybody gets into it all over the world, this is not U.S. only, Russia, China, Japan, Switzerland, all of Europe, all of Asia, all of the Saudis and everything else, and all of America. And once everybody jumps into gold, who knows what the price is going to be? That's why I'm conservative really at 50,000 once you get rid of COMEX. But they keep COMEX because they don't want to have a panic and they don't want you to think gold's worth anything. They want you in paper because they can control you in paper. So once gold takes over, you think there's going to be CBDCs? I doubt it. So I don't buy that shit anyway. So with that said, keep that in mind and run to your coin store as quick as possible. Like I said, he's out of bullion. Now, we did have some gold, and he did have the Eagles. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll go. He opens at 10 tomorrow. I'll go there about 10:30 with the thought of buying 20 ounces of the Buffaloes at $27 an ounce, roughly. And if he has a quarter ounce of gold, I'll buy a quarter ounce. That's my thought. I got a lot of gold. Do I need more? Probably. Should I get more? Probably. But it's expensive, and as cheap as silver is, I can't lose in silver either. So they're joined at the hip, gold and silver. So I'm really not too concerned. If I were to buy 10 ounces of silver as opposed to a quarter ounce of gold, which is roughly the same price, I'll be fine either way. And the reason I buy quarter ounces and tenth of an ounces and half of an ounces and ounces is gold really goes up. I don't really need to trade in an ounce and have all this extra loose cash. I just give me the quarter ounce and I can cash that in. So if gold's 40,000 an ounce, I get a quarter ounce, I get 10,000. Okay, that's all I need. I don't need the 40. What am I going to do with it? I don't want it in cash. So when you trade in your gold, be careful what you do with it because you really don't want the cash. But you've got the coin, right? This is worth 40 grand. Thank you very much. And then you got to worry about the other where it's in. Now I got 40,000 in useless dollars. What do I do with these? And that's the problem. So anyway, what else? Okay, my lease is up at the apartment. This will be a cute fact. So I used to live in an apartment here, and then I moved to Alabama, and then I moved back. But I couldn't get back into my old apartment. There wasn't any vacancies, but I liked it. I liked the location, and the price is cheaper. So I call them up. So I go online, fill an application, and I call them up. They says, well, we don't have any available. I says, well, I'm not working now. So I retired. I'm on Social Security. Oh, you need 3 times of the rent for income. So if rent's $1,300, I need to make $3,900. I says, well, I got money in the bank. I got money in my IRA. I didn't tell her about the gold. And then I'm getting Social Security of $2,400. Like, don't worry, the Social Security will cover your rent. Well, it's not me, it's the bank. They want 3 times. And now I'm starting to go, oh, no wonder there's so much homeless. Even if they make so much money, if they're trying to get into an apartment, they don't make enough to cover the basic guidelines to make 3 times as much to get in. And I'm saying, but I have money in my retirement account and in the bank. I says, I have this money and I'm getting for sure Social Security $2,400 a month. She says, well, what if all of a sudden the money's not there? And I said, well, what if you bring me on and I lose my job? What's the difference if I lose my job, I can't pay rent, versus spending the money in my account? How is that different? She says, well, that's what the bank wants, is you to be in a job making 3 times. I says, is this gross or net? She said, gross. So I said, well, I got unemployment. That's about $4,000 a month with Social Security. And she's like, no, unemployment doesn't count. Okay, so if I'm working and I lose my job, is different than if I have the money in the account. She said, well, do you have a pension? Are you making money on your pension? I go, you don't understand. I backed out of the pension to get the money fixed. So in other words, I'm working at my favorite at Canadian Club. And I told you this, so I'm making $300. So when I hit 59, I get $300 a month pension. So I only worked there 3 years, and they were very nice to give me the pension. So I'm getting $300 a month. Or I can get 25,000. And this was what, 4 or 5 years ago. I can get 25,000 lump sum. I take the lump sum. And I'm in the stocks with it, with the gold, and then I bought gold and I pulled the money out, I bought gold with it. So that's what I did. So I don't have the pension. I backed out, but I'm not getting credit for that. So she says, well, are you getting a pension? And I said, I got the money in my IRA. The pension I got money in it. I got 50,000 in it. So I could pull that. I can pay rent for 5 years with that money. And they wouldn't take it. So I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? Now I can renew here. It's only a $30 increase, but this place is about $100 more. This place, I don't really love it. I don't like the location as much. So I will look a little bit more, and I have till April 30th to announce if I'm renewing, but I probably will. Because when you factor everything in, you got to hire movers, which were $500. Let's say it's 6 or 7. So the amount you're saving on the $100 a month rent, let's say, is $1,200. You save, but it costs you $700 to move, so you net $500. Now, if you stay there 2 or 3 years, that's another story. Now, I don't know what I'm doing because of the gold and silver. Now, if this hits in the next month to what I'm saying, now my gold's 20, 30,000, my silver's 1,500, 2,000 on the way up, I'm all done. I'll still do the shows, but I'm all done. I mean, I won't even try to go to work. I got the money needed to retire. So that's my retirement's the gold and silver. And unlike the movies, I can't lose it. Right? They're not going to take it. They're not going to ban it. It's not illegal. They can't make it illegal. You think they have a riot now with the banks? They'd really have a riot. I won't leave it in the bank in a safety deposit box where I can't get to it. So I've got it nice hidden away, nice and safe. As I need the money, I pull it out. And like I said, I'll be buying a house with an ounce. So that's good. And then I got all the silver, and that'll be my play money. Oh, it's 2,000 an ounce. Okay, we'll go groceries, we'll pay rent, we'll go on vacations. And that's what I'll do with it. So I'm all set for retirement once everything goes according to plan. Now, while everybody's losing their ass and losing all their money in the bank and in their stocks, we're going to be sitting there going, well, if you would have bought gold and silver, you'd be protected. And that's really where it is. I can't lose. You can't print gold and silver. The government can't control. All they can do is try to tax it. That's it. And, they got the 1099 out. So, but it's on certain amounts. And so I just sit there and go, okay. The problem's going to be, what are we getting for it? So am I getting this crap? Or am I getting the new crap? Or am I getting dollars backed by gold? So if it's this crap or the new this crap, they come out with new dollars not backed by anything, you got to be careful. You've got to just cash in enough gold to do whatever you need to do. Oh, I want to take a trip to Hawaii or buy a house. Well, I'm going to try to buy a house or a car with the gold. But if they need the cash, I'll go get the cash. and immediately consume it type of thing. Or the silver will buy, okay, here's rent for the next 2 months, something like that. That's what how you're gonna play it. But you can't go to zero with it. It's never gonna be, oh well, we made a decision and we fucked up, and the housing collapsed, and everybody bought the housing, and everybody's defaulting on the car loans and the housing loans, and we can't give you the 10% that we guaranteed. Or so we can't do that, or Enron collapsed, or Bernie Madoff, it was a Ponzi scheme, or the whole government is a Ponzi scheme, and all the banks are Ponzi schemes, so all the Ponzi schemes are collapsing. Which would happen if everybody ran to gold and silver, and nobody put money in the bank's fucked, because the bank still owes all this debt to the people. So if people start taking their money out, how's the banks going to pay them out? They don't have the new money coming in. So it's really a Ponzi scheme, the banks also. But you go into Comerica or Chase or Wells Fargo, you don't think it's a Ponzi scheme. There's a lot of Ponzi schemes. That FX guy. So, I mean, the more you can keep on your own, and the more you have gold in your hand, and the more you understand it's physical, and the more like if you're in an ETF, you'll never get your gold. This is why I warn you. If you're in gold stocks, the stock market's going to collapse, because people will need money, because you can see what's happening here, right? My mortgage is up. So I either need money to pay my mortgage, or I sell my house. If I sell my house, I can't get what I want for it. So the values of the houses go down. That's where you see BlackRock or Blackstone or Blackman, whatever it is, going down in price. They're worried about this whole thing because they own a lot of property, thinking, I'm in houses. Yeah, well, when interest rates go up because of inflation, that's what inflation does. You're fucked. Or the cars. I was watching a thing on cars. Oh, real quick. So watching a YouTube on it. Ford has just lost $3 billion because they can't sell electric cars. I'm shocked. I told you that, a month ago? GM will be close to follow. Ford's just a bunch of idiots. Now, Ford tries to insult you by saying, well, we still see profit of $8 billion this year. I mean, what? All you do is sell cars, and you run the lions into the ground. Where are you going to get all this money? So your electric car sales are down $3 billion. Okay. Yeah, sure. You keep dreaming that you're going to make money. Good morning, Eric. Well, we're talking a lot of gold and silver, and banking collapses, and Ford Motor crashing, and all the neat stuff. We did talk some basketball. What do you want to talk about? Ask a question. Anyway, so Ford loses $3 billion. Tesla's going to lose their ass. If you own stock in Tesla, get the hell out of it. That's all propped up by the government printing money, putting it in, but that's not in any way that. Ford's crashing. I saw on YouTube, they lost $3 billion this quarter, first quarter, I guess, or they're going to lose $3 billion. So they can't sell electric cars. They couldn't sell regular cars, but they certainly can't sell electric cars to a population that doesn't want electric cars. That would be like me, let's say I handicap cricket. And who in the fuck would want me to handicap cricket? How much sales am I going to make on Teaser King handicapping cricket matches when there's no demand for cricket? Nobody knows, nobody bets it, nobody. So if I'm Ford and I go and sell electric cars, nobody wants them. I want the regular Mustang. I want an electric Mustang or whatever they are. Year to date, 4 down, 2%. What are you talking, the stock? How the stock's over 5, I never understood that. I had a buddy who would buy Ford stock cheap, and I go, you don't understand. They run it. I work there just like the Lions. There's a bunch of morons running around. I was in an all hands meeting at Ford headquarters, and they had Flowers was their he was their CEO or whatever. And he blatantly said, I don't know how the stock market works. I don't know how to get the price up. I'm just shaking my head, as Bobby would say, like, what the fuck? How are you the CEO and your only job is to maximize shareholders' value by getting the stock price up, and you don't know how it works? How are you the CEO? Like, are you shitting me? And it was just, it's a stupid place. Ford's $11. I would not buy it. At this point, it'll be down under 5 in a month. Again, interest rates are up. People are scrambling to pay their bills. Who's going to run out and buy a new car? Then add insult to injury. Who's going to go buy an electric car? You're going to buy an electric car, Eric, or a gas-powered car? I got a 2018 Camry, so I'm set for years because I don't drive it as much. Fortunately, I don't, I'm not working now, but if I was, I wouldn't work an hour away from home. I would just try to, keep it to 15, 20 minutes. So I would bet Ford over or under $5. I'd be under $5, especially losing $3 billion in the first quarter. So gas, yeah. So would you buy a Ford electric? No. I don't know anybody I hate Ford anyway, but I don't know anybody who would buy an electric Ford car. And I don't know anybody that would, I don't really want to buy a electric car. Why do I want to buy an electric car? How am I going to charge it? I live in an apartment, or let's say you lived in a condo. How are you going to charge it? And the lower the voltage, the longer it takes to charge. And then your electric bill goes up. Oh, they're not telling you that. You assume it's free to charge your electric car. I don't think anybody likes electric cars, Eric. First of all, they catch on fire a lot. Secondly, you drive, you go on a road trip. So let's say I was driving from Michigan to Vegas. Where am I going to find? I can find gas stations all over the place. Where am I going to find an electric charge thing? And how long is it going to take? And how expensive is it going to be? And what if my battery dies or it catches on fire? Better yet, I don't know anybody we'll save the environment. Oh, really? The environment's in danger. Really? We're a planet. You're telling me that we're all going to die from the environment? No, we're going to die from getting killed by the governments because we don't want CBDCs or crap like that. But we're not going to die from the climate. At what point do you not understand we're a planet? We're fucking Earth, or whatever our real name is. Newmont Mining, NEM, but I wouldn't invest in it now. I would wait till it drops. Right now, I buy gold coins and silver coins, physical, no ETFs. Watch the market crash, then go buy Newmont Mining, NEM. It's the biggest gold miner. I've had it plenty of times. I've made a ton of money on it, but now the whole market's collapsing, so it's best to be out of the market, into the coins, and then once it collapses, all the stocks are going to collapse because people will need their money. So what's happening is people are going to need money, and now they're going to sell their assets. So they might sell their house, maybe not. They're going to sell any asset they have, the stocks, the bonds, the house, right? So you're going to sell that because you need money. And so mostly stocks and bonds. If you have money in the bank, you're fucked. Good luck trying to. So let's say you have 200,000 in the bank, Eric. How are you going to get it out? It ain't safe there now. everything's collapsing. Credit Suisse collapses. Now Deutsche Bank's going to collapse. And all right, Silicon Valley, these are little banks for the Obama and Clinton friends to fuck around with and steal. And Bernie and the other guy, Barney Frank or whatever. But right now, your only safety is if you moved it to a JP Morgan or Wells Fargo or something until they collapse. But if you got 200,000, how are you going to get it out? Oh, I'd like to get my $200,000 out. We don't have it. We can give you 10, maybe 15. So you're going to go every Friday for 2 months and pull 15 grand out. And you're going to run to the gold store and hope you can still get the gold at 2,000 an ounce. I was just there, 2,100. Silver still 27, but they didn't have any. They had the $35 Eagle $1 actual money. I could have got 20 of those, but they're supposed to get the bullion in tomorrow. So I will try to get the 20-ounce Buffalo rounds at 27 an ounce, and then hopefully some quarter gold I'll try to get. Yeah, it used to be $70 stock. 45 is really cheap, but if you do a like a 6-month trend on it, you'll see where it collapsed, and then now the whole market's collapsing. It's just the bullshit of printing money, and there was 6 stocks that were still surviving. Everything else is down. The government doesn't want you to know there's a collapse. So the stocks that they're buying are Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook, Meta. One I never heard of. Those are your big 4. It was not Amazon, was not on that list. So Apple, you're gonna go out and buy a $1,500 fucking iPhone? Really? You got spare money to do? You're not going to eat, but you're going to buy an iPhone? So I don't understand Apple unless there's other things. Are you running out to buy an Apple computer? I never would get an Apple, but I never had one. At work, I always had Microsoft. So that's the operating system I'm comfortable with in the computers I buy. So if you do a 6-month on Newmont 45.29, you can see what it is. Now, I will, as I show you every day here, watch the 10 o'clock. So look at the chart. There's little tabs. So go to chart. You'll see the chart. You'll see 10 o'clock drop, and then it goes up. And my advice to you, if you want to buy it, and I would be careful with it with some spare money, I would buy 500 shares. That's going to cost you $20,000, and wait for the 10 o'clock dip. So you're on it. It's 10 o'clock, and you're refreshing, and you see it go do. And then as soon as you see it go do up, you buy your 500 shares, watch it, and then as soon as you can make 50 cents, 70 cents, and you see, let it keep going. And then when you start seeing it drop, you get the fuck out, and you made, let's say, 50 cents, and you made times 500, you made, what's that, $250 for that day. Say, thank you very much. We'll play again tomorrow. Or maybe we'll watch it a little more. You want to be out by 4 o'clock because you know at 10 o'clock the next day, you're going to get this. So you want to avoid being on that side of this, and you want to wait till the algorithm kicks in and it starts going up. Then go for the ride. Some days you'll make $1. Some days you'll lose. Most of the there'll be a point where you could make 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents. I would play it at $1,000, 1,000 shares. And if I could get 70 cents, I made $700. I said, thank you very much. Some days I made 30 cents and I made $300. And I still said, thank you very much. Because if I saw $300 on the ground, I would take it. And it's not about I only made 300 or 500, because you're going to do it every fucking day. And if you do $300 a day for 30 days, 20 days, because you don't count the weekends, that's $6,000 you made with no risk. Very, very little. The only risk is if it goes down, then it starts going up, and then it doubles back down on you. You got to be careful about those days. And then you want to cap it. You don't want to lose a lot. So usually wait till it starts going up and then buy it, and then hope you don't get double dipped. And that probably happens 1 in 30. So most of the time, boom, and then it goes back up, especially with what's happening now. Gold's at $2,000 an ounce, physical, that's paper gold. So keep in mind, you're waiting for physical gold to take over. Blow up the derivatives, go to physical. Physical will be, so let's move ahead. We're now in physical. Gold price is $30,000 an ounce. What do you think the stock's at? The stock's at $1,000 a share, because what's their inventory? Gold. And if their inventory is gold, they're valuing it at like $1,100-$1,200 an ounce right now. Well, when it hits 40,000 an ounce, what's that going to do to their financial statement? Because the inventory is gold. Now the inventory just went through the roof. Income goes up, revenue, but income is huge. The money in the bank's huge. Their earnings are huge, and their stock, of course, will go up. And then as everybody's realizing gold's the place to be, so will the gold stocks. But at this point, people will dump stock because they'll need money because of this fucking financial crisis caused by the governments and the banks, because they're all a bunch of idiots. And therefore, we take advantage of that by buying the physical now and waiting for the physical. So we're at the elevator. We're going up to the 20th floor, and we're now pushing the button to go up. That's what we're doing. We're not waiting until the elevator's at the 18th floor to try to get on the elevator. We're at the elevator waiting for it to go up. So that's the best gold stock that you can buy. Some of them just don't do anything. There's like Gold Group or some other one. They don't move. They just don't move. And after analyzing 5 or 6 different gold stocks, it was, this is the one. This is the one to be in. This is the one that makes you the most money. And at least the way I play it, it was the best, because it would move, right? It would go to 45, it would go to 50. Some of the other ones are sitting at 20. Warren Buffett got into one, and the thing doesn't move at all. I mean, it's 22. There's a huge amount of shares, and it's still 20. It goes up to 22.05. So it doesn't move, but we want a stock that moves 50, 70 cents a day, a dollar a day. Even though it might not end there, it might end up 20 cents, it does have movement, and that's what we're looking for, is take the ride up, get off, and then watch it drop. And occasionally it'll keep going up. But if I sold at 70 cents and it ends up $1.10, I don't get mad I could have made $1.10. I get happy I made 70 cents. Thank you very much. I'm not worried about the fact that, oh, wait, I could have made $1.10. No. That's like a football game, right? We bet football, and Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, and we win $2,000 on it. And we bitch, we could have won $5,000. We knew they were going to win. Why didn't we bet 5? Why didn't we bet 10? Because there's risk, and we don't know. We think we know, but anything can happen. We understand. So you do what's comfortable. So if you get out at 70 cents on your 1,000 shares and you make 700, you can't bitch, oh, I could have made 1,000. It went up another 30 cents. I could have made 1,000. You don't care. You made your 700. Thank you very much. Off you go. That's how you got to look at it. You can't get mad that you didn't make more. But wait for the elevator up. Do not try to fuck with this coming down going, oh, that's my spot. Wait until it goes down and comes up. So let's say it's 45. So let's say this goes 44, 43.90. Okay, here comes, now it's 44 again, 44.10. Now jump in and then ride it up. And then if it goes back to 45, now net for the day is even. But, so let me show you gold to give you an example today. So it opened at 1993. It went up to 2001 at about 8:30. At 10 o'clock, it goes down to 1989, and then it goes up to 1997. So look at 10 o'clock to get a good see the spike down at 10 o'clock. But then look, it goes from uh, 1989 to 1997 at 10 o'clock. See it spike back up. That's the ride you're looking for. Then it starts going down at 1997 to 1993. It looks like about 11:30. So as it's spiking is when you get the hell out. So you avoid that whole elevator ride down. Now the reason it's down is because it went up so much the last few days. I don't believe it's profit taking. Nobody's selling their gold taking profit because that's not why you're in it. You're in it. I buy the coin because it's going to 40, 50,000, not to make oh, I bought it at 1900, it's at 2000, I make $100. That's not why I buy gold. So, but this is what the stock looks like. So you can see that 10 o'clock dip. Now you're waiting for that. You see it happen. Now you're jumping in as it's going up. You make $4. Well, this is gold itself, but the stocks work the same way. And that's what you're looking. So you're waiting for that, and then you wait for this. So you don't do anything till you see it start going up. It goes up. Now it starts going down. You get the hell out. You just take your profit and you say thank you. And it might be 20 cents. You might make $100 that day. But the key is I make money. And if I keep making money, it's going to add up. And that's what I want to do. And then eventually you buy 500 shares, leads you to buy 700 shares. Then you can buy 1,000 shares. And that's how you're doing it. That's the idea. Because we don't trust the stock market. And I don't know. I know that's what's going to happen in gold. I don't know what Microsoft's going to do or Apple, but people will need money, especially if they're all getting fucked in the banks. Hey, Kenzie, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you could join. Let me know if you have questions or comments, but it's nice to see you here. Anyway, as people are going to get their ass kicked in the banks, they won't be able to get their money out. They're going to run the stocks, or they're going to sell their house. So as they run the stocks are going to get killed. And because of the inflation, the banks aren't going to do anything, right? The banks won't be able to give you your money. So you can't get your money out of the bank. I need assets because I got bills, and your only way out is to sell your stocks. I think you'll be okay. So if I'm at E-Trade. So let's say you're at E-Trade and you're at E-Trade and they're JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or whatever the Morgan is. So they're there. So I'm in E-Trade. So now I'm in E-Trade, and I'm now like, okay, how do I get out of E-Trade, right? I should be safe pulling my money out. However, I'm not really sure where do I put it? So what are the banks going to do with the E-Trade? This is really the question, right? So if you sell it, that's why you need to be in the bigger bank. But you're going to have trouble getting it all out. So if you move $500,000 out of your E-Trade and then go to the bank the next day, say, give me my money, you're not going to get it because they're not putting physical money in. So that's the problem we all are going to have is getting that. So that's what we're gonna see is what do we do? How do we get our money out? So that's why when I move my money out of the E-Trade account, I would do like 20,000 at a time. And then I would run to the bank the next day. As soon as I knew it was in the bank, I'd run to the bank and pull the money out for safekeeping. Like, okay, I didn't get it frozen that. Kenzie, I can't write here. All I can do is say, yes, I see your comment, but I can't comment. I can't type and say, yes, I see it. All I can do is verbally say, yes, I see it. So yes, I see you. Thank you. I'm glad you're on the class. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're not giving me opportunities to. All I can do is talk, but you can't talk to me. You write, and then I respond to it. That's why I do it live, so you can see Andrew and Eric, and normally Bobby's on, and then they can ask me questions like Eric's asking me about Ford and Newmont, and then it gives me. I can then talk to it, which then that's why these tend to go 2 or 3 hours, is because as people come on and I get questions, then that's what happens. So yes, Kenzie, I see it. I am very happy you joined, and I left you some messages. So that's great. Appreciate that. So that's going to be the problem. How do you get your money out of the stocks and get the cash for it? And I guess I would go into the bigger banks, and then as much money as I can get out, I would do it. So I'm almost leaning to say, okay, let's say you got 100,000 in Charles Schwab, or they're having trouble. Let's say an E-Trade, which is Morgan Stanley. You got 100,000. I would pull maybe 20 out, and then I'd go to the bank and try to get to the 20, but you maybe can only get 10 or 15. And you better do it quick, because people aren't. The people are still brainwashed, don't realize it. So you take 20,000 and you then go get the cash. That goes into your safe, and you buy gold and silver with it. Although you're at the end point, you can still get gold, but now it's 2,100 an ounce, as I went there earlier today. Now it should be a little bit lower because the price of gold had went down to, now it's 1975. So the price now is $19.75, and then $23 for silver. Well, we don't care. That's 27 if they have it. And the funny part is the Eagle's still 35. That hasn't moved, even though this has moved. So now gold's 1975. It's being sold by the government on purpose, not by the market. So that's what you need to understand, is the market is me and you. We're the ones who are supposed to move the price, not the government. That's the paper bullshit. And that's what I keep saying is it's really not going down because people are selling gold, but it allows an opportunity to buy it at 1975. So keep that in mind. So all that does is allow us to get it. So maybe you sell $25,000 of your E-Trade or Charles Schwab or whatever you have. You sell it, it goes into your bank, because normally you link one to the other, right? You're saying, I want the money moved from here to there. I think sometimes you can actually get a check, but then what are you going to do with it? So you get a check for 100 grand. I got to go to the bank to cash it. This is the problem with banks. They still are going to get into they're still going to be the middleman. So you now have that problem of what do you do with the money? Okay, have a nice day, and I'll be here and off to swim after this. But yeah, I'll look at your messages. All right, have a nice day. So when you get your money out, it's like I did like 20 grand at a time. And then I ran to the bank, took it, and then I put it in the safe at home. I got it out of the bank. Now I want to get out of money, and then I'm determining. Well, I want to get it out of money, and I want to buy gold, but I need enough money to pay rent and pay my bills and my credit cards and stuff. And so that's what you determine what you do. You decide what to do with it, and that's really what you're looking at. So what so that's what I ran and bought gold, and now it's okay. Now I got physical. Do not buy ETFs, and son, be careful with the Newmont. It's going to go. All the stocks are going to tumble. So just watch for now, and then when it tumbles, fine. But I don't think I want to be in the stock market like Eric's pointing out. Ford at $11. I don't want to be in it for a long time, like buy and hold. We've seen Madoff, we've seen Enron, we've seen all the housing crap, we've seen assault on Wall Street, we've seen other people's money. There isn't a time you want to be in it long. You want to be in, get your profit, get out, go back in, get out, go in, get out. You want to be in as quick as possible because you're going to wake up at zero, right? Tack on Wall Street, guy's got 60 grand. Now he's got zero. That's going to happen more often, especially in this environment. Then you're going to wake up with 60 and it's now worth 100. And you don't see too many of those movies. Other people's money, the guy was an investment banker, and so he actually bought a ton of shares, but he knew the book value, and it was a little different than the individual buying it. Like Warren Buffett buys 1 million shares of Disney. Oh, well, great. You're a great investor, really, and you don't even know what inflation is. So keep that in mind, that your only safe play is gold. You cannot lose, and you're about to make a fortune in it, right? You have no risk in gold. This is what nobody understands. Well, it doesn't go up. Yes, I know it doesn't go up, but you have no risk in it. Therefore, without risk, what are you thinking? So I don't understand people's divergence to, oh, let's play stock or Bitcoin, not gold. And they're just brainwashed, and they are clueless. Think it out. I can't lose in gold because the market won't drop it. So like this, going from it's down $15 today. It's fake. It's not real. The price didn't really go down. The derivative paper price went down because it's a mirage. It won't go down. So you think the banking system works because the government and JP Morgan here thinks we're a bunch of fucking morons. Oh, we'll look at this and we'll just think that's it. So that's the problem. Is people need to understand what's really going on, the illusion, right? And that's what, so it's a magic show. Well, oh, look, gold's going down, wink, wink. So you better, it's not a good investment. It doesn't go up. It's not Microsoft. It's 100 times better than Microsoft. So the stocks are very volatile. They go up, but do they ever tell you when it goes down? Let's look at Amazon. And I will educate. So here's Amazon stock for the last 6 months. Okay. Jesus. Okay, so for the last 6 months, it was up to 120. Buy Amazon, buy Amazon. The guy at Myers was all, I buy it, it only goes up. And he was in it at like 130. And there it's 120. Oops. Then it goes down and looks like November to 90. Then it goes back to 100, then back to 80, then back to 110. And now it's at 97. Does that just go up? Or did that go up and down? So your riskless stock, I'm going to buy stocks. It's not riskless. This is fucking Amazon yet. Okay. So you can see it went from 120 in looks like November to 97. So it's lost $30 it had lost, got down to 80. So somehow it got pushed up in February, and now it's going down in April, in March. So there you go. That's your big deal. I'll buy stocks. The difference is, yes, stocks are manipulated, but stocks are still stocks, right? Stocks, it's still supply and demand. If people buy, it's an auction, right? If people want to buy stock, they buy stock. And if nobody wants to buy it and they're selling it, it drops. So how did Amazon drop? Well, people sold it and nobody wanted to buy it. There was obviously problems with the company or the economy or something caused it. Gold didn't go down. Gold never goes down if you let it go physical. The only time you're going to sell gold when it hits 50,000 an ounce. So you're going to see 1,800, 1,900, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000. Then if it's free market, which I don't think it will be, but hopefully by then it will be, then you might see 45. And then you'll see, but it'll go up so high. There will be profit taking, but like I said, at 50,000, if I need the money, and it's certainly not to buy dollars, and it's certainly not to buy stock, and I'm not going to buy Tesla with it. That's never going to fucking happen. So that's what I'm trying to say. So people think, these, I'll be in stocks. That's, instead of gold, I'll be in Amazon instead of gold. And they're all fucked. They don't know what they don't get it. Gold can't go down if it's free market. Now, yes, we know it's a little bit price fixed by JP Morgan and derivatives because the governments don't want you to panic and thinking that gold's now 20,000 an ounce and the dollar's worthless. Well, believe me, the cat's out of the bag by now. Watching all these bank failures, you pretty much have a good idea that the banks are fucked. So that's where you're at with that. But as I told you, the major problem, most people don't know what they're doing. So for some reason, instead of taking a class and learning, they go to their Merrill Lynch or whatever you call it now, and you go talk to a financial advisor or a broker or somebody who is just a salesman who doesn't give a shit about you. And he's going to say, buy stocks or buy mutual funds. Or we have a real estate investment trust, or RIT, which are based on mortgages, which are very safe because people are going to pay their mortgage, right? When interest rates go up, they'll find money and buy them, right? And they'll keep paying. So you got defaults in the mortgage. That's the problem with that. But I went into my bank, Fifth Third, and the guy's trying to sell me a 9% annuity. And I said, I'm an Austrian economist. I don't want any paper money. And the guy, tries to look like he knows more than me. Well, how about elastic and inelastic? I told you this story. And I said, I don't know what that is. I mean, I have an idea that like gas is one of the, like gas you must have, but if butter goes really expensive, you don't buy it. But I don't know I don't know which one's elastic and inelastic. I know it's like a rubber band, and inelastic, I guess you can't pull it, but I don't know if that means you can't raise the price or if that means you can raise the price. It's very confusing to me. Doesn't make sense because it's not in English. And the guy's like, oh, you don't even know that. And, and I'm like, well, dude, I got like 120,000 in gold. So I'm pretty safe. So, go fuck yourself. You're going to hit me with that. And you don't want to put me in gold. You want to put me in an annuity. Yeah. Okay. And when it loses and I lose all my money, you're going to be around. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to be really safe and make a lot of money in gold and silver while you're in an annuity going broke. So, okay, you do your thing, I'll do mine. Thank you very much. I don't get caught into this little trap. Oh, buy an annuity. Yeah, fuck you. I don't want it. See, but I'm smart enough to realize I don't want any of that shit. I don't want to be in a rut as people can't pay their mortgages. I don't want to be in money because it's being inflated to zero. So therefore, I don't want to be in this shit. So anyway, that's my point. So with that said, that's why you're in gold. Now, Eric, you'll go into the gold stocks, but wait on it. Right now, the best move is coins because they're about to explode. And the market is not about to explode. The market's about to get crushed because people need money. They can't get their money out of the banks. What are they supposed to do? They're going to sell their stocks. How do they move it? I don't know, but that's what they're going to do for money is sell their stocks. If you have gold, you don't need the bank. So what you're trying to do is get out of the bank system, get out of the fiat currency. Because even if you own the stock, what's the value? It's in dollars. As this goes to zero, what's your Amazon worth? Well, it's worth $97. Oh, wait a minute. There is no dollars. I don't know what the value of my Amazon stock's at because there's no dollar. There's no value in the dollar. So now you got to figure out what's my Amazon stock. I mean, and gold goes through the roof. And again, we don't need gold valued in dollars. So right now, it's $2,000 an ounce, roughly. We don't need it in dollars. We need it in purchasing power. Oh, good. I can buy a house with an ounce of gold. I can buy a car with a half ounce of gold. We don't need dollars for gold. Bitcoin needs dollars. Right? What's Bitcoin? $25,000 for a Bitcoin. The dollar goes to zero. What's your Bitcoin worth? Since Bitcoin isn't real, it's not money, and it's not gold, what is it? What's the value of it? Because the dollar just went to zero. I don't need gold in dollars. I got gold in gold. Gold's the cure-all, save-all, the biggest safety you can have. Where you can't lose. It can't go to zero. It's going to buy houses and cars for you. Groceries, you use silver. I mean, so it's a beautiful no-brainer. And that's really the problem as these banks are collapsing and all the banks are in the same situation because they all got money in and they all would have either loaned it out and maybe people can pay it or not, or they would have bought bonds since it's an inverted yield curve, which means the interest rate's higher currently than it is long-term, then that's what you have. So that's really the point of it, is what you do with it, right? So because it's inverted, you're buying a 2-year, you're buying a 5-year treasury. Because again, you got to make enough money to cover the customer who brought in $100,000 he's getting 2%. So you got to cover the 2%. The only way to do that was to go into long-term bonds at 4 or 5%. But now it's switched, and then Powell raises the rate, which raises the rate on the bonds. So now the short-term rate is now 5%, and the long-term rate's down to 2%, and you're fucked because you're getting 2%, but it's the value of the bond, which you have to report each quarter, is now the 5%. So in the beginning, it's $98 for 2%, but if it's 5%, now it's down to $88. That lowers your balance sheet. You're fucked. Now you've lost $10 a bond, and you probably put in $1 billion. That's really the problem. So with that said, I'm going to go watch some more Alistair McLeod. Do I get any more questions? I do appreciate the questions. Andrew, good luck. Eric, please let me know if you have any more questions or comments. Kenzie, thank you for appearing. I appreciate that. That helps. Bobby, where the hell are you? You owe us some silver. Again, let's look at today's basketball. We got Alabama laying 7.5. We got Princeton getting 10.5. We got Houston laying 7.5. And we got Texas Xavier over. Yesterday, we hit the Tennessee under. And that's why I play over-unders. We hit the under with Tennessee, Florida Atlantic. Now, Florida Atlantic wins, but we don't care. It was a low-scoring game. Again, we did the same with Michigan State, Kansas State. We didn't know who's going to win. Michigan State was favored, which I was surprised. But Kansas State wins, but it was a 200-point game because they went into overtime, and I thought Michigan State had this wonderful defense, and Kansas State kept sticking them. So now we got Kansas State, Florida Atlantic, and then tomorrow the other game is going to be Arkansas, Connecticut, which we had over in that game. Again, I didn't touch the game, but I played the over. That's why I play the over-under. I can tell it's going to be high scoring. And then UCLA, Gonzaga. I think that went over. I had UCLA, but Gonzaga wins, which I was a little bit surprised. I just thought UCLA was the better team, but Gonzaga showed something. So now we got Florida Atlantic, Kansas State. It's hard to say how good Florida Atlantic is. They beat a good Memphis team. They didn't have to play Purdue. They played Fairleigh Dickinson, and now they beat Tennessee, who's a good defensive team. So I think Florida Atlantic sticks around. Kansas State, I think, is a very good team, and they've beaten they beat Montana State, who gives a shit, and then they go ahead and beat Kentucky, who was a 6 seed, so it's not a typical cream team, and then Michigan State, who had beaten Marquette. So you really can't tell how good Kansas State is. Michigan State, 19-12. I don't know how great. They beat Marquette. It was a matchup thing, so now they got Kansas State. I don't know. It's a tough one. We'll see what the spread is. Probably an over because Kansas State, Florida Atlantic scored a lot. They scored, in the 60s on Tennessee. Against the normal defense, they'll score more. And then Kansas State played a big game with Michigan State. And then we got Kentucky, Gonzaga. Connecticut, Gonzaga is definitely an over. They went way over with Arkansas. Gonzaga beats UCLA. Who's the better team here? I don't know. Gonzaga usually chokes, but they're coming out of the 3-hole, not the 1-hole. So there's not the stress of, we're the 1 seed, we're supposed to win. They're kind of hiding under the radar. So don't know who's going to win. This is probably an over. And then tonight we'll probably, my guess is Houston, Texas, but it could be Houston, Xavier. And then my guess is Alabama against Princeton, but it could be Princeton to cover. So let's say Alabama, Creighton. Creighton beat Baylor, and then if they beat Princeton, who cares? See, Arizona's out. So now my Tennessee's gone. I still think Alabama, Houston, and now my UCLA's gone. See, even picking after 2 games, it's still hard to pick the Final Four. That's why you got to be nuts to play one of these to try to pick the winner. You can't pick the winner. Like this Thursday, Friday, you still can't pick the winner. Is Alabama the best team? Well, they haven't played anybody. They beat Texas A&M, Coastal Carolina, and then they beat Maryland, who was an 8 seed. And now they get San Diego State, who knows if they'll win. You assume they'll win. They're favored by 7.5. Princeton could come out of it. This you don't know. This is the problem with college basketball. It's just too much. Football, we can bet on Mahomes. We can bet on Aaron Rodgers. We can bet on Joe Burrow. That we know we can do, but this is very difficult doing this. So anyway, that's what we have with the baskets. Good luck. Don't bet a lot, please. I am nowhere near as dangerous in this as I am in football. Football, I go 75% real in teasers, and this, I don't know. I'm probably 55%, but I'm not picking teasers. If there are 6-point teasers in basketball, then I would take Houston and Alabama in a teaser, laying them from 7 to 1. That would be my play, but I don't even know I'd play it for 5 units maybe. So we don't know. We did hit our 5 unit yesterday, which was Tennessee under, and do we have another 5 unit? No, Michigan State. I played it under, but not 5 units. 5 under Tennessee. That wins. And that was it. So my 1 5 unit does win Tennessee under, but that's it. So Tennessee, again, you win a lot more on over-unders. I had the Connecticut-Arkansas game over. That went over pretty good. I think it was in the 150s. The over-under was 140. But it's far easier to pick Tennessee under, and then Florida Atlantic wins the game. I didn't lose. I win, and then Connecticut-Arkansas. You can't pick the winner, but you can pick that it's going to be high scoring, and it was. And that's really what you're trying to do. That's what you're looking at. Now let's go to the NFL draft for a minute. Change wheels from money to sports. And I'm listening on the way to the Gold store this morning, and they're talking Lions because I'm in Detroit. And they're talking about the draft, and they're like, well, the guy from Alabama will be 1, and then C.J. Stroud will be 2 from Ohio State, and then Richardson, the quarterback of Florida, will probably go 3, and then 4 will probably be Levis, or maybe 5, and the Lions pick 6 because they get the Rams pick for the trade of Stafford. And you're sitting there like, why would anybody take C.J. Stroud 2nd? Why would you take Richardson 3rd or 4th? Why would you take Levis? You're not even talking about the top 4 quarterbacks in the draft. What the fuck's going on here? So everybody's running for a quarterback. They won't know, do they fit the system of the team, first of all. So if I don't have the Ohio State offense, I'm not drafting C.J. Stroud because I'm yet to see an Ohio State quarterback do anything. And let's look at Fields on the Bears. Well, he doesn't have receivers. Bullshit. Neither did Brady. Brady won a lot of Super Bowls without receivers, right? And the one year, ironically, he had Randy Moss. They throw for 100 touchdowns, but they don't win the Super Bowl to the Giants. That's the amazing part. The one year he actually has a receiver. So Brady is winning without receivers, just average guys that, it's like Montana winning with Dwight Clark. No offense, Dwight Clark was a very good and made the clutch catch, but he was no Jerry Rice. So he won 2 Super Bowls without Jerry Rice, and he won 2 Super Bowls with Jerry Rice. So again, it helps to have a Jerry Rice, but you don't need it. So anyway, here's Fields, who he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, doesn't do anything. And on the Bears. So here's C.J. Stroud, another Ohio State system quarterback. You want to pick him second in the draft? Why? Because he had a good game against Georgia. So we're going to forget the Michigan game where he sucked, and we're going to look at the Georgia game where he basically ran all over the place as the survival mode. And, he had some nice touchdowns, but okay, but where was he against Michigan? And okay, that's it. But yes, I respect him for doing that against Georgia, but I watched him against Michigan. He sucked. So which quarterback are you getting? And based on the history of these system quarterbacks at Ohio State, none of them do good in the pros, right? JT Barrett, oh, he's supposed to be great. He couldn't even make the Redskins. Fields, he sucks on the Bears. They can't read defenses. They can't read blitzes, and all they do now, they're trying to run a little bit. So, again, another little running quarterback. What in God's name would you be drafting Richardson or Levis for? Oh, my God. What did Richardson do? He was 50% completion. Really? And you want to draft this guy? I wouldn't draft the guy unless I wanted him as a wide receiver. I would not draft him as a quarterback. And whoever drafts him, we are going to bet so heavily against, because these guys are idiots. Like, you draft the guy, the fourth pick, he's playing. This guy couldn't play college. He's not going to play pros. He's not going to do anything. All you got to do is blitz him. He won't know what to do. C.J. Stroud, just blitz him like you blitz Fields. He won't know what to do. This is the problem. I don't know where they value the quarterbacks at. Where are you getting that C.J. Stroud or Richardson are any good? They're not. They were not good in college. They're not going to be good in the pros. Again, Ohio State has a system like Alabama. That's why their quarterbacks never do anything. And then Florida, Richardson, maybe he's as good as Tim Tebow, which I doubt. And then that leaves you with Levis at Kentucky, which he was okay, but or you can have these four quarterbacks. You can have Stetson Bennett. You can have Hooker from Tennessee, Hayner from Fresno State, and what was the other one? Bennett and Hooker and Bennett. Oh, and Thompson Robinson from UCLA. I would rather have Thompson Robinson over Richardson or Stroud. He at least played in more of a pro-style offense. I'm not sure he's a first-round draft pick, but I liked him. And they're going to make the same mistake with the Southern Cal quarterback, that he'll be the first-rounder. Again, that's a gimmick. That's a scheme. He'll be like the other Oklahoma quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, who just runs. And how bad is he? And then Hurts, who runs. How bad is he? This is the problem. Okay, Hurts looks okay. Maybe. I don't know. Give me Mahomes and Burrow. Thank you very much. Give me Russell Wilson. Give me that type of quarterback. And that is not what you got. That's what you got in Thompson Robinson. That's what you got in Duggan from TCU, and Hooker and Bennett are like, they're winners. They want to throw the ball. So I don't get where they choose these four quarterbacks as first-round quarterbacks. You got to be out of your fucking mind. I wouldn't draft any of them in the first round. I would, if you're going to give me Hooker in round 2 or 3, thank you very much. If you're going to give me Hayner from Fresno State, thank you very much. Thompson Robinson, Stetson Bennett, what a joke. The guy won 2 back-to-back titles. Well, he's no good. Well, he's a lot better than Trevor Lawrence and Tagliabue. That's for sure. And those guys went high. You got to be kidding. So those guys go high, but here's Bennett, plays at Georgia, wins 2 titles, wins some good games, comes back against Ohio State to get the winning touchdown. We don't want him. He's 25 years old. Get the fuck. You can still get 10 years out of him. It's an NFL. What are you talking about? He's more experienced. He's a winner. Well, we don't want him. Okay. I scratched my head. What are you looking for? Where is Richardson? He had a good pro day. Did you watch him play college ball? Did you see anything that would have made you take this guy and draft him at all or make him your quarterback? Did you see anything that would have said, I'm going to make this guy my quarterback? Oh, my God. Levis, maybe. He was okay at Kentucky, but he's third or fourth round. CJ Stroud, you got to be kidding. Yeah, watch the Michigan game again. Yeah, you want to draft him? Go ahead. He'll do nothing. He'll be like Fields. He'll do nothing. And I love when these radio guys kind of poo-poo. Well, we know JT Barrett sucks and Fields sucks, but you can't say all the Ohio State quarterbacks are going to suck. Why not? It's a system. Why wouldn't I think they all suck? They all do the same thing. They all put up 50 touchdowns and 5 picks in college. All of them do. Caldwell Jones did when he won the title and Barrett got hurt. He came in and lit it up and won the title, and he sucked. It's a system. It's all a system. Throw the ball deep. We got fast receivers, and we got a good running attack. So if they have 9 in the box, you throw it. If they don't, then you're going to hand it off to Ezekiel Elliott. Okay. That's a system. That's not, Michigan at least had quarterbacks that it was not a system at Michigan. It was a pro-style offense. That's what Fresno State gives you. That's what UCLA gives you. That's what Georgia gives you. That's what you want to draft. Tennessee, Hooker, are you kidding me? Hooker puts up 50 on Alabama, but we don't want him. We want Richardson, who put up 10 on Georgia and lost to Kentucky and lost to Missouri or whatever. I don't want to go through each game, but he didn't even go 500. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, he can run a fast 40. He's a quarterback. I don't want a quarterback that runs a fast 40. I see how many playoff games Lamar Jackson wins and how he's always hurt. That's not what I want. I want Mahomes. I want Joe Burrow. I want Aaron Rodgers. I want Russell Wilson. I don't want these type of quarterbacks because they don't win. Give me I'll take Justin Herbert. That's fine. That's more Thompson Robinson and Hooker is Herbert. That's what I want. A guy who can throw the fucking ball to the receivers. Because I'm paying the receivers $10 million a year, I expect them to catch 100 passes. How many does the Baltimore Ravens receivers catch? 25, 30? And it's all the tight end catch, so it's all these short passes. And then they score because Lamar Jackson runs it in until they get into the bigger games against the Steelers and the Bengals, and all of a sudden he can't run it in. And all of a sudden they're fucked. So I don't know. I just see it. I just don't get it. To me, it's I don't know what's going on. I don't get college. I don't get pro football that you would draft a bunch of bad players and so high in the draft. Like, are you insane? Why not Hooker and Thompson Robinson over Stroud and Richardson? What do you see Stroud and Richardson doing better than Hooker and Thompson Robinson? Explain, please. Hooker put up 50 on Alabama. Richardson couldn't put up 50 in 5 games on Alabama. Stroud, okay, he did great against Michigan, and he had a couple other shitty games. And then again, it's all system. So, yeah, he did good against Georgia. Okay, fine. But why aren't you talking about Bennett? He beat him. Hello? Now, I don't like the Michigan quarterback. J.J. McCarthy, I think, stinks. I don't know why they got rid of the other guy. He went to, I think, Illinois or something. He went to another Big Ten. Look for them to win the Big Ten next year with the other Michigan quarterback and that defense. Look out, Charlie there. But why in God's name? What is it about Richardson that you think is going to be good? He can't read a defense. He can't throw. What is it that you're saying? He runs a fast 40 and he can high jump. I mean, I don't want an athlete. I want a quarterback. I would make, if I drafted that kid, he'd be a running back, and God knows I would draft a running back ahead of him for a running back position. So I don't get it. It just blows my mind. I wouldn't draft any of those quarterbacks. Like I said, my first four quarterbacks in any order are Hayner, Hooker, Bennett, and Thompson Robinson. And I don't know that you would do fine with any one of those four. They are winners. Hooker beat Alabama. Bennett won the fucking title 2 years in a row. Thompson Robinson beat UCLA, and then or he beat Utah, and then and Hayner beat UCLA 2 years ago with a lot of heart while being injured. He's a winner. Max Duggan from TCU. What's wrong with him? He beat Michigan. CJ Stroud couldn't. He's fine. I don't have any problem with Duggan. He's a good quarterback. I could win in the NFL with that guy. At least he knows how to throw the ball. He put up, 50 points on Michigan. How many did Stroud put up? They got 10 or 20. How do you measure the quarterback? You don't measure a guy how fast he runs the 40. You measure him on how he reads the defense and how he picks up a blitz, and then how he throws the ball to the receivers. That was the big thing with Tom Brady. He hits you in stride. Aaron Rodgers hits you in stride. So you get the ball, you keep running. Mahomes hits you in stride. Burrow hits you in stride. That's what you want. Not a guy like Lamar Jackson who throws the ball behind you, and if you do catch it, you're falling down and there's no yards after catch. So what the fuck are you, what do you think? So you think what? Stroud's going to do it? You think Richardson even can read the guy? You think he's going to put it on him? Did you not watch Florida this year? This guy sucks. That you're not going to get better going from college to pro. You're going to get worse. Brady was very good at college. He just didn't play enough. But when you look at Montana at Notre Dame, won a national title. He was in the green jersey game. Guy was a fucking winner. Came back against Houston and won the the Cotton Bowl. What was it, 79? The catch. I mean, let's see Richardson throw the catch, or Stroud for all that matter, throw the catch. Give me a fucking break. Jim McMahon was very good in college, was good in pro when he was healthy, but running around, he didn't stay healthy. So do you want these running quarterbacks that aren't staying healthy? I need them on the field. If McMahon stayed healthy, the Bears win 3 Super Bowls. Easily. They easily win, but they won the 85. They easily win the 86 and the 87 because there was no Niners there. The Giants in 87, all right, they knocked Montana out of the game, but I don't think they beat the Bears. They couldn't beat the Bears. The Bears beat them like 20-0. So I don't see 86 would have didn't the Redskins win because of the strike? The Bears would have killed them. And so the Bears would have won 85-86, and then it would have been them against Lawrence Taylor. But if McMahon plays, they probably win 87. And then the Niners beat them in 88 and 89, and that would have been the end. But McMahon couldn't stay healthy, and it cost them 2 Super Bowls. Probably 3. They might have won 84. Now, the Niners had a great team, but McMahon was hurt. Steve Fuller played the playoff game. They lost 24-0, I think. So, again, the quarterback's key, but he's got to be on the field. And McMahon was a winner, and that's what you need. And Richardson's not a winner. CJ Stroud's not a winner. Couldn't beat Michigan 2 years in a row. That's not a winner. But I do like the other. Hooker's a winner, and Bennett won 2 titles. That's the guys you want. The guys with heart, the guys with brain, the winners. That's how you win. So I don't know what this whole point of Levis. Where's Levis coming from? Oh, yeah, he beat Florida. Well, that's because Richardson was on the other team. Lost to Tennessee and lost to Georgia. So I don't know why Bennett's not one of these. And then for sure, Thompson Robinson and Hooker. Hooker's got a hurt knee, big deal. Tagovailoa, you drafted 3. with the hurt hip and all the concussions. So, whippy. Now, we're going to bet big against Richardson. If Richardson's drafted 4, and I don't know if it's Houston or Indy, we're just going to bet against them big time. They'll be locks, especially the first few weeks. Once we get into we're done with the trading camp bullshit because they don't play exhibition games anymore. So after about week 3, it's going to be lock against Richardson, lock against Stroud, lock against Richardson, lock against Stroud, lock again. And they'll be lucky to win 3 games. And then they'll blame it on, we need to get talent around them. We need wide receivers and offensive linemen. Really? Is that who's on your team now? Don't you have pro wide receivers and pro offensive linemen? Really? You don't have that? Seriously, how the fuck do you not have that on the team? Who's your offensive lineman? What are they, college? I mean, you're paying them. I assume they're pros. What do you mean you don't have good wide receivers? Maybe you don't have a good offensive coordinator. Maybe you run bad plays. Maybe you need a running attack. Maybe you need balance. Ever think of that? Maybe it's just your fucking coach is bad. AKA San Diego, San Diego should win that West, probably 2 or 3 times in the last 5 years. And you keep the coach. Oh my God. They hire the worst coach of San Diego. Kellen Moore. Okay, that'll help, but he ain't coaching the defense, and you're still fucking it up by not playing good, not coaching the defense properly. You got Camille Mack, the safety, and then you got the Bosa, and you shouldn't lose more than 3 games. With Herbert and who's my receiver? Keenan Allen, and you got Eckert at running back, and you got Khalil Mack and Bosa. You shouldn't lose 3 games a year. That's it. You should go 14-3 if I was coaching the team, right? Kellen Moore will be nice, but I don't want him passing too much. I want to run the ball and have balance, and I want to keep my defense rested. And I don't want to turn it over, and I am not going for 4th and 2 at my own 28 ever in my life unless it's the last 30 seconds in the game, and I must. If it's anywhere in the first 3 quarters, I am not going 4th down in my own territory. I'm punting, playing field position. And if I don't have a good enough defense, I'm going to draft defensive players and have a top 5 defense so I can punt the ball and play defense and stop the other team and get the ball back at midfield. That's how you play football. Not, let's go, it's 4th and 2 at our own 28. Let's go for it. When has that ever worked? Unbelievable. These coaches that do that are just stupid. And then I hate when the announcer goes, well, if they want to win, a good team will go for it and 4th and 1 and make the yard. Really? A good team or a stupid team? I don't know. It depends on the defense you're playing and your offense and how smart your offensive coordinator is. Now, if you have the Dave Casper play in, and it's 4th and 1, and I know it's going to work 100% of the time, I'm going to call the Dave Casper play. Otherwise, I am not running up the middle, handing the ball, or doing a quarterback sneak up the middle and trying to gain a yard. And then I don't deserve to win if I didn't make it. Bullshit. That's ridiculous. That's just absolutely amazingly stupid announcers. Or the radio guy, oh, yeah, I'm really, Troy Aikman. Yeah, that's good that they went for it. Sure, Troy, you would have went for it on Dallas? Yeah. Okay. I don't think so. Maybe at the other team's 40 and you're driving, but you have to have a good matchup. It all comes down to the art of war. What is your strength? What is their weakness? Can I run into their weakness to gain the yard? But I'm not going to run into the strength. If they got this great defensive line, let's say it's Pittsburgh or Baltimore or who's a good defensive team? Cincinnati. I'm not running up the middle. I'll never get 4th and 1. I'll never get it if I run up the middle. I got to do play action pass, or I got to run off tackle or some jet sweep. I got to have a play that I know will work against this defense, and they're going to put all their guys in the middle. So play action pass should work beautifully. play action to the halfback. My tight end just sneaks out and he's wide open. That's the play I must run against this defense because I cannot run up the middle for the yard. They got 5-6 guys who are going to stop me, and they're playing me for the run. So if I run up the middle against that, I'm an idiot. Fire me right then. If you can't see their strength and their set, and you don't know the weakness in their set and how to beat it, you shouldn't be coaching. I mean, it's as plain as you can get. You shouldn't be coaching if that's what you see. So anyway, this draft is coming up. Again, I gave you 4 of the better of the quarterbacks I would do. Again, Stenson Bennett, Georgia, Hooker from Tennessee, Hayner from Fresno State, Thompson Robinson from UCLA. Those are the best 4 quarterbacks in the draft based on what I'm watching in college, based on their winners. Let's ignore Hooker. He only put up 50 on Alabama and looked like an all-pro. Yeah, let's ignore him. Okay, he hurt his knee, but they're all injured. He'll be fine. But he gives you the whole perception in the mind that the other ones don't. First, Richardson sucks. Stroud sucks. The Alabama quarterback, it's always a gimmick. So Alabama and Ohio State are always gimmick quarterbacks. And then Levis at Kentucky's 4th rounder, maybe, not first. Richardson, I wouldn't draft. Stroud, I wouldn't draft. And if I want Fields, I would trade for Fields. He's not as good as Fields. So what do I want? What do you see in this guy that you think's any good? Well, Ohio State scores a lot. It's their system. Of course they score a lot. Jesus Christ. That doesn't mean their quarterback's any good, just like Alabama. Just like whatchamacallit from Clemson, Oogly Boogly. You're going to draft that guy in the first round because he's an athlete. He didn't even know which team to throw it to. Or then Trevor Lawrence. Well, he's the first pick in the draft. This guy? Oh, okay, yeah. He threw 4 interceptions in the first half against San Diego? But it's okay because he threw 4 touchdowns in the second half. That makes him okay. That erases the 4 interceptions. He's good. You want to bet on him? Go be my guest. I won't. He sucks, basically. So does Tagliavoa. So does Lamar. Everybody loves Lamar. Good running back, not good quarterback. And, how many playoff games did he win at Baltimore? 1, and that was against Tennessee when they were injured. But he lost 3 or 4. I don't know where he's going. It's just going to be let's bet against him. And then if he's on a weak defensive team, then it'll just be bet over because he runs so much. The receiver, if I was a receiver and I got Jackson, I would beg to be traded. I'll never get the ball. He can't throw. I can't go on a route more than 20 yards. He can't throw it that far. He can't even read the defense. What am I going to do with this guy? So that's what you have. But, he was the league MVP in 2019. So therefore he must be good. And how many playoff games did he win? Yeah, he must be good. Oh, okay. Montana won the Super Bowl his first year in the playoffs. And the Cotton Bowl, and he beat USC in the green jersey game. I mean, he won some big games. USC was number 1 or 2 in the country when he beat them in the green jersey game. Keep that in mind. He beat Michigan that year too. Anyway, that's what you're looking for is a winner, a guy that in the pressure comes through. You certainly don't have that with Stroud or Richardson. And then that leaves you, I don't see it with Alabama, and then not with Kentucky's guy. So I do see it with UCLA, and I do see it with UCLA, and I see it with Fresno State's guy, and I see it with Tennessee's guy, and of course with Georgia. 2 fucking national championships, but we don't want him. He's too small. He's too old. You guys out of your fucking minds? So let's look for something we can hang on him that's negative. To say, oh, look, he's only 6 feet tall. Because no quarterback under 6, you got to be 6'5" to play quarterback. Yeah, okay. Really? How tall is Mahomes? We know Russell Wilson's 5'10". Uh, how tall is Rodgers? Does that really? Rodgers rolls out a lot, so height's not a thing. Is he mobile? Well, yes, of course, Bennett's mobile. Bennett can read defenses. He can read blitzes. Guy's a fucking winner. He came down and beat Ohio State at the end. I don't know what else you want. Um, then you don't know what you're doing. If you're drafting these CJ Stroud and Richardson, you should fucking retire from being a general manager. Fucking clueless. You ain't winning shit with drafting those guys. And that's why you can see Houston don't know shit. They got Mills. What do they know? Indy, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Carson Wentz. And they go to Matt Ryan, who never was any good. Who else is drafting? Houston and Indy. What? Jacksonville? No, Tennessee. Maybe they need a quarterback. Washington, they suck. So these GMs are clueless. When you got Davis Mills as your quarterback on Houston, your GM should be fired. And Mills is not even an NFL quarterback. He sucked at Stanford, and he sucks at Houston. Indy's clueless. I mean, it's look who's drafting these morons. That's your problem, right? Houston and Indy suck because they don't know what talent is. Oh, we'll take Carson Wentz. Philly let him go because he sucked, but we'll take him, because he was the league MVP 20 years ago, and therefore, oh my God. So anyway, that's the frustrating part about it. Hey, Bobby Bo, you owe us some silver, Bobby Bo. Are you seeing what's going on? Did you go buy some more silver? I know you were buying those Cougarans. You better go buy another 100. It's about to go to the moon. And watch our guy, Andrew McGuire today. He sets it up. Let's see. There's our buddy. This one you need to watch, Bobby Bo. The paper's dying, and it's about to go. I don't know how much time you have. I ran before the show after watching 10 minutes of him to buy more silver. There wasn't any bullion. There were the $35 Eagles. And I talked to my buddy there, and he says, "Don't worry, we got them on order. They should be here tomorrow." The Buffaloes at 27 an ounce. I says, well, instead of buying 10 ounces of the Eagles at 35, I'll wait and buy tomorrow the 20. And if they don't have it, I'm sure I can get the Eagles. He had he had 2 plastic Eagles left. That's 20. Then he had something else. They were Trump silver at $30. I said, I don't want Trump. I'm going to have a problem selling Trump. Not everybody likes him. They're not going to see it as silver. So I don't want Trump, especially at 30. I'd rather have the Buffalo at 27. So supposedly they're getting them at the other store today. They'll send them over. And so I'll go about 10:30 tomorrow. The goal is to buy a 20-ouncer of the Buffaloes and a 1/4 ounce gold. But they didn't have 1/4 ounce gold. He had 2 Cougarons and he had 7 American Eagle, all ounces. So you didn't have the 1/4. I would have bought a 1/4 ounce for $5 something. But it's about to bust. It's about to get away from COMEX. The banks are all doing their best to keep COMEX down because they know if gold goes through the roof, then all hell breaks loose and everybody gets out of the bank and runs to gold. So they're trying to present the image that the banks are fine. But if gold hits 5,000, everybody's going to run, and it'll be a fucking nightmare for the banks, and they're all collapsing. So, A, get your money the fuck out. B, put it in your safe. C, go buy as much gold and silver as you possibly can now, because you don't have. I don't even give you 2 weeks. It's all collapsed. Deutsche Bank's now having trouble. Credit Suisse, we know what happened. A lot of the American banks are in trouble. It's just a matter of till they probably aren't announcing it because the government's so good. So let's read. Just the gold and silver, Bobby. I'm talking about college basketball and the NFL draft. Well, that's why you can go back to the beginning. I checked in lately, but showed you had finished minutes ago. Oh, okay. I assume that's yesterday. I know somebody came on real late, but I wrapped it up. YouTube was alerting me good for a while, and now it's back to got the same BS. That's really weird. I'm actually in the area for one of the coin stores in Tampa I go to. Well, you better go in. Just check it out. See if they have any silver. I mean, that would be my point is my guy had no rounds. I've never seen him with no buffaloes. None. He had just a little of the liberties, and some guy had bought like 8 or 9 of them. So there was nothing there. He had the 2 cases, and that was it. And then behind there's some silver. But in his case, he had like silver $half, which I've never seen. So supply is very, very short. He did have gold, $21.50 an ounce, and that's what I'm warning you about. You wait too long, you're going to spend 10 grand an ounce on gold. That's why I'm saying get it while it's 2,000 or 2,100, because when it hits 10 grand, how many are you going to buy? I might stop by and grab some buffaloes because that's all he really has there. Well, good luck. If he has it and it's 27, I'd buy as much as you can. By the way, what do you think of Tennessee being upset last night? Yeah, but do you think the banks collapsing will help out metals fly? Of course, because people are taking their money out of the banks, and the only safe haven you can possibly go, you can't go into euros, Swiss francs, or anything. You can go into the stocks, but they're collapsing. So people will go into stocks before they collapse, or you're going to flood into gold and silver because I think I don't know about the U.S., but keep in mind this is worldwide. They're all jumping into gold and silver. So keep that in mind, but I do think so. What I think about Tennessee, I bet it under, so I won. That's the problem. How good's Florida Atlantic? And Tennessee had a great defense, but again, it becomes a matchup issue. So I don't know what the matchup problem was for Tennessee with Florida Atlantic, but this is why we bet overs and unders. I also hit the over in the Connecticut game. They beat Arkansas. Was I surprised? I have no idea. I can't name one player on either team, but I knew they're high scoring. So I hit those two. Where I was surprised is UCLA losing, and then I was not surprised Kansas State beat Michigan State, but I bet that under, and I was surprised they scored 200 points in the game, although there was overtime. I'm watching the game, and it's 12-10 with 8 minutes left, and then score, and it's a 70-point first half. I know I'm fucked because I'm under 131. Kansas State wins, not surprised. Now you got Kansas State, Florida Atlantic. You tell me, Bobby. I have no idea. I'll probably bet the game over. So today I got Alabama and Princeton, and then I got Houston, and I got the over in the Texas game. Xavier can score. Texas, we know, can score. They beat Kansas by 20, which I keep talking about. So that's really where I'm at with that is, seeing that. So, that's my point with that. Yeah, see, as we talk about competition between the dollar and gold, you must understand if the banks are having trouble, people are taking their money out now if they can. This is why I warn you, don't leave a lot of money in the bank. So you got $300,000 in the bank. You're going to go to the banks to give me $300,000. You think they're going to laugh at you. They're not giving. They don't have $300,000 to give you. Maybe 15 or maybe 20 at the most. If you're there early enough before other people are doing it, that's what the bank run is. They only have so much. I only have 20 bottles of Canadian Club. So the first 20 get it. But if you come in after that, sorry, we're all out. Well, that's what the banks are going to do. Sorry, you're all out, which is why I got my money at home in the safe and in gold and silver. I'm not going to rely on the bank. I go to the bank saying, "Are you still open?" No, I see. I got my unemployment tomorrow. yesterday. So the money's in the account. I'm going to pay rent on the 1st with that, as long as their bank's still open. This is going to get a real strange thing here. What if your mortgage company collapses? Who do you pay your mortgage to? Or in my rent? I've already done with my car payment, so I don't know that. The only thing I owe is credit cards, because I'm buying gold with the credit cards. My credit cards are high because I bought gold, but I'd rather have the gold. The gold I know is going up. The credit card hopefully goes to zero. And, if the bank goes out, what do I do? Now, two of them are Chase, one's Wells Fargo. So maybe Wells Fargo goes out. They're having a harder time, but not Chase. JP Morgan won't. Am I worried about Fifth Third? I think they're a pretty big bank. I'm not really worried. So it'll go in phases. So as these little banks and credit unions start getting eaten up, they can't make the payments, then it'll go to the larger banks. Will give you a little more protection. Bottom line is get the fuck out of the banks. Maybe leave, $5,000 in there, and the rest is in your safe, in your refrigerator, and you're buying gold and silver with it, and you keep enough for your bills. And you can always go back to the store and say, oh, give me my ounce of gold, give me the money for it. See, that's the beauty of it. It's not like you spent, when I go and spend $25 on the ounce of silver, I haven't spent $1. I've changed it. I've traded it for silver. And if I need, I go back to the silver to get more money. If I need to pay a bill, that's the beauty of it. You're not spending a nickel to buy gold and silver. You're just trading your worthless dollars for something worth a lot. So what do you think, Professor? Silver to 500 this year? I think silver to 500 this month. As the banks are collapsing. So what I'm talking about is the Fed, and you'll watch Alistair McGuire, or you'll watch Andrew McGuire, the one I just showed you. That's exactly what he talks about. The banks are keeping the price low to not, otherwise the game's up. And so they're trying to keep he sees $50 real quick, still on COMEX. We're waiting for COMEX to get blown up. So the banks are fighting it because they know once the shit hit fan, COMEX is gone, it goes to market, and we know what market is. So, Bobby, at market, it's $1,000 if it's 10. So, if you understand the concept, 500 this year, I think is low. I look for 1,000 at least, and we're only in March. Keep that in mind, and all the banks are collapsing. So, what other proof do you need that? Okay, I guess my money's not safe in the bank. I'm pulling it out if I can get it. And with it, it's stocks, Bitcoin, or gold. But you know what? Bitcoin's not real. Can't go there. Stocks are collapsing because people need the money. And with the inflation, the companies aren't making profits. And most of the stocks are collapsing. But they're putting all their money. There was 6, which I can only remember 4. It was Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, and Tesla, and one I never heard of, and then there was a 5th one. So those are where the money's going by the government. They're printing it and putting it up to make the stock market look good. But if you dig into the bottoms, I just showed you Amazon. Let's see if I still got it up. Yeah. So I was standing in line at Meijer's, and we're talking about prices. I start talking about gold. He says, I got my money in Amazon. It never goes down. It looks like October, November, it was 121 an ounce share. Now it's 98. I thought it never goes down. So you can keep your money in there as Amazon goes down. What do you think the regular stocks are? Ford just announced they're losing 300 billion this quarter, or 30 billion or something like that. I think they're losing 300 billion in the first quarter. You want your money in Ford? Eric was nice enough to share that Ford at $11. which is okay. Ford's at 11. I would not be buying it at 11, right? Nobody wants the electric car. Ford's losing $300 billion on electric cars. And they still predict they're going to make money this year. And you're like, yeah, I'm that stupid. You're losing $300 billion. Nobody's going to buy your car. You're going to lose $1 trillion this year. Where are you going to make your money? You don't have a gas-powered Mustang anymore, or the F-150. How many of those are you going to sell? And are those electric? So basically, you got Ford going out. So you want to be in cars? No. Do you want to be in stocks? They're all going down. You're going to be in the assassin on Wall Street, and you're going to go kill all the brokers because you lost your 60,000, or you're going to put your money in gold and you can't lose. It's a lock. It's a no-brainer. I hope you watch that video, Gold 100-unit lock, because that proves the safety of gold, that nobody can come to you and say, oh, we didn't see the housing market crashing and everybody getting out and your $60,000 investment go to zero. Or this stock dropped and the mutual fund went to zero. You can't, that never can happen if you're in gold. It can never go to zero. It can only go up. And the more the issues are with the banks collapsing and the inflation going through the roof, going higher and higher and higher, it's all positive for gold. So you're never going to see zero. They're doing their best to keep it at 2,000. The price for my Eagle today was $2,150. The price for the Cougaran today was $2,075. If you want to buy a Cougaran at my store, $2,075, Bobby. We were buying it at $1,800. And no, I'm not trying to sell it at $2,000 that I bought for $1,800. No. Add another zeros when I think about selling, but not now. So no, I mean, my price for silver this year is at least $1,000, because you got to understand, once the genie's out of the bottle, once it hits this 500 that you're suggesting, everybody floods into it because they can't afford gold at the time. So as gold goes up, silver goes up faster. So gold's now 10,000, silver's probably at 2,000. And the more people that realize that, jump out of the banks, jump out of the stock market, sell their house if they can, and then jump into the gold and silver. Because what do people do? They want to make money, and they see, oh, they lied to us. I can really make money in gold and silver. And then they jump into it. So right now, the government's still holding it down because they don't want the mass exodus out of paper into silver and gold. This, as we know, is crap, right? I ripped it in half again. This is worthless, but nobody knows it but us, right? So we know this is worthless. We know gold and silver has the value, and it's the only thing that's real money that has the value. We know that. Nobody else does. So they don't realize that this is worthless. As Alistair McLeod says, as people start waking up that it's worthless, then the run into gold and silver really goes. So if the central banks are trying to hold the price down, but the stampede of the demand for gold and silver is through the roof. Good luck when you go to your store, Bobby. I guarantee you'll be lucky to find 20 ounces at your guy's store. I bet he doesn't have any. My guy said he's getting a shipment in today to the other store. He'll bring it to this store tomorrow. I will go. And at 10:15, I will be at the store trying to buy another 20 or 25 ounces of the silver rounds at $27. That's where I'll be very early. I already went before. Like I said, he didn't have any. I would have had to buy the Eagles at 35 apiece. So I'm pretty confident I can, if I need to, buy the 20 Eagles for 700. But if I can get them for 540, 20, then I can actually buy 30 for the same 700, or a quarter ounce of gold, but all he had was ounces, a quarter ounce of gold with the 20 rounds, and it's $1,000, the best $1,000 that you could ever spend. So keep that in mind. So he did have some Eagles, and he had some Cougaran ounces. That's all he had was ounces. And those are people bringing them back because they need money, and they're trading them in. So that's what you had. So go to the coin store, Bobby. You're in the area. Go in and just take a look. See what he has. If he has any, buy them. Okay. And definitely the banks, any of that bad stuff, the stock market collapsing, the banks collapsing, the housing market collapsing, the car market collapsing, and these are all happening now. Where's the safe haven? It's gold and silver. There is no other safe haven. And just wait. These prices, Bobby, if it's only 500, I'll be shocked if silver is only 500 this year. This next month, April. Okay. I'll be shocked if you can still get an ounce for 500. That's why I want to run and get my ounce. That's why I went today, but I'm looking at silver. It's still 23. They're still $4 over. Let's see what silver's at. See, this is the beauty of it, is the store is the gold store looks at this and they see it at 23. So they're going to price it at 27. They can't understand it's a $500 an ounce thing until they see it. So in their minds, it's 23. So I can go tomorrow, it's going to be 27. Or the Eagle will still be 35. The question will be, will there be inventory? But he says they're getting a big shipment in, well, supposedly, and it'll be here tomorrow. So in worst case, I'll get the 20-ounce Eagles at 700, and, versus 270 is 540, 550 for 20 rounds. So you can see let's say 550. So for $150 less, then I can actually go buy 6 more rounds for the same 700. So am I worried that I can get them? No, I think they'll have something. Plus he has a cabinet behind that has silver coins that I think I can get for 35, but normally it's the Eagles. So I should be able to get some silver. If I can, I got 500 ounces, but it's just such a no-brainer to buy more. You can see that, like, we've hit the iceberg and we're filling up with water. And Bobby's going, do you think we'll sink? Yeah, Bobby, I think we're filling up with water. I think the Titanic's going down. And so I think, the economy's going down, the banks are going down, the housing market, nobody can afford it. The cars, everybody's defaulting. So all these with the higher interest rates, people aren't smart enough to buy fixed rates, get the variable rates. Variable rates go up. You can't afford your house. You walk away. You can't afford your car. There's a huge glut of cars because the interest rates are so high. Nobody's buying them. And why would you? You would just do what I did. I bought it in 2018. I don't need a new car now. So anyway, that's really the point. So yes, I do believe gold and silver are just about to take off, but I can still get it. So tomorrow I will buy, and it just makes sense. And then we'll go from there. Now I've got unemployment and Social Security. I'm set for the next 5 months. I'm fine. Hopefully I'm going to Spain soon. I'm waiting for the okay from the boss. We will see when she's ready. I don't know what she's waiting for. I think she's just, with the war and the kids, I think she's just waiting for that. And I can't go to Russia because I'm American. We can't fly there. It's a no-fly, we can't get in there. So that's a little tougher pill to swallow, but we'll see about the Ukraine. Anyway, I guess that's about it. So again, basketball tonight. We like Alabama. We like Princeton. We like Houston, and we like over Texas Xavier. And I have no idea. Don't bet a lot on these. Alabama, are they the best team? I don't know. I don't see them. This is like in football. Well, not until they played Georgia. I thought they would have problems with Tennessee with the defense, but now that Tennessee's not there, they're breathing a sigh of relief because Tennessee's in the SEC. And I don't know if Tennessee beat them, but with that defense, that definitely hurts them. So now we don't know. Florida Atlantic, Kansas State. I don't know if it's good or bad matchup against Alabama. And let's see if Creighton or Princeton can beat them. Houston, Texas should be there, but Xavier could be there. And then we got Connecticut, Gonzaga on Saturday. That's a dead even game, I think. I don't know. That's where you need the teasers. You could have teased the dog, and off you go. I would have definitely have teased Kansas State in 7.5 yesterday. Connecticut, we won over, and then UCLA was 1.5. I would have taken UCLA in 4.5, and I think was a winner. I think they lost by 3. I don't remember. Anyway, that's it. Have a great day. I would not walk. I would run to your coin store immediately and buy as many silver rounds as you can. If they don't have that, and you kind of ask, if it's a big store, they might. If it's a small store, whatever silver, if you got to buy the Liberties at 35, the US dollars, buy them. You are not going to see these prices much, much longer, maybe a couple weeks. Then you're going to see, $500, $1,000 an ounce for silver, and you're gonna just kill yourself. You're gonna say, "Fuck, I could have got it for 25." It's a no-brainer. It's a lock. Buy the fucking silver at 35. Whatever you can buy it at, buy it. You can see it'll be okay tomorrow. Tomorrow I pull the trigger. If they have the rounds, I'm buying at least 20, and if they don't, I'm buying the Liberties. Now, why don't I buy more? Because I got a lot anyway, and I got to be careful with the money. But I should be okay. So that's really what's going on with me. But I've already got 500 ounces, right? Get to 500 ounces, please. And then the gold, whatever, if you can get a 1/4 ounce for probably $600, go buy it. And they're keeping the prices down for us to buy, but we know it's fake. We know it's to get us, so we don't think anything's going on, because we're a bunch of fucking idiots in the U.S. Nobody has a brain in their head. Oh, the bank's not a problem. Oh, gold and silver, it doesn't go anywhere. We're all morons. Yeah, right. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Take care. www.teaserking.com. And enjoy yourself. That's all I can say. All right, everybody. Good luck to you. Okay, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck tonight. If you bet baskets, go buy your silver immediately. All right, take care, everybody.